Chapter 1792. Rainbow Divine Stone? What is this? Xiaoping asked curiously. Master, this is almost the king of space stones. It is a divine stone condensed from the essence of countless space stones. The green ox said excitedly, this kind of space stone can already be considered the prototype of a dimensional space. If it is given another opportunity to evolve, it will have a chance to grow into a dimensional world. 7-color divine stones were extremely precious. Some sacred-tier spatial magic treasures used 7-color divine stones as one of the main materials. Back then, when his old master was refining the sacred-tier bead of mountains and rivers, he had obtained a 7-colored divine stone. This kind of material is really too precious. Even if a sage knew about this, I'm afraid they would shamelessly come over to snatch it. This is a universal treasure, priceless. What? Xiaoping's body trembled when he heard this. He didn't expect this 7-colored stone to be so powerful. It was a naturally born spatial magic treasure that formed its own space inside its body. It was the prototype of a dimensional world. Master, you must obtain this divine stone. The green ox immediately said, once you obtain this rainbow divine stone and refine it, the mountain river pearl will immediately be able to restore most of its power. It doesn't matter if you don't have the other space stones, but you must obtain this rainbow divine stone. He couldn't wait to obtain this rainbow divine stone. I must obtain it. However, from the looks of that group of vacant beast kings, this rainbow divine stone is obviously very precious to them. Once I snatch it, I'm afraid I'll be chased everywhere. I must think of a way. Xiaoping touched his chin. To be honest, just in this underground cave alone, there were hundreds and thousands of vacant beast kings visible to the naked eye. Their strength had reached the tribulation realm at least, and they were extremely ferocious. Moreover, they ruled over thousands of races. Once they were enraged, countless vacant beast kings would attack, sweeping up a terrifying spatial storm. There was basically no way to escape. Naturally, it is very precious. After all, this rainbow divine stone emits extremely pure spatial energy. For these vacant beast kings, it is the strongest evolutionary energy. By staying near the rainbow divine stone, their cultivation can naturally increase rapidly. I reckon that the reason why so many vacant beast kings have appeared is because of the existence of this rainbow divine stone. Corin also opened his mouth. Master, I think we still have to make use of the Yuanming sect, the Xintian sect, the Great Sky sect, and the others. If they can be our scapegoats and lure the beast kings away, we might have a chance to snatch the rainbow divine stone. The green ox gave his opinion. He had already learned bad things and often followed Xiaoping to cheat others. It's better to be careful. We've caused so much trouble before, so the people from the mysterious Heaven sect are extremely angry. They even want to set up a trap for us. I'm afraid it won't be easy to trick them. Corinne felt that it was not optimistic. Being a bad person also required talent. If it was not good, he might not be able to cheat others and instead throw himself in. It doesn't matter. I have plenty of ways to make them take the bait. Xiaoping blinked his eyes. The corner of Corinne's mouth twitched. He was completely speechless. When it comes to swindling people, this bastard is already at the Grandmaster level. This kind of talent is perhaps even stronger than my cultivation talent. One day later, the Yuanming sect, the Xintian sect, the Great Sky sect, and the other sects had already breached a small mine and killed a large number of vacant beasts. They had also obtained a lot of space stones. However, they were not happy at all. Instead, they were extremely depressed because they had set up a trap with great fanfare, hoping to wait for Wu Wudi to take the bait. However, after waiting for a day, they still did not see Wu Wudi appear. It was as if Wu Wudi had long disappeared. The Yuanming sect and the other elders were extremely depressed. If Wu Wudi had already left after eating and drinking, then their efforts would be in vain. They would never be able to take revenge and could only suffer in silence. Although they were extremely aggrieved, there was nothing they could do because they could not find Wu Wudi's whereabouts. Elder Lu. At that moment, in the Yuanming sect camp, a few patrolling disciples immediately rushed into Grand Elder Lu Wen's lounge. "What's going on? Didn't I tell you not to disturb me when I'm resting?" Lu Wen was very displeased. "No, Grand Elder, something big has happened. A few of us were patrolling nearby just now, hoping to find some traces of Wu Wudi. However, we didn't expect to find a torn piece of clothing. That's Elder Ma Gubua's clothes," an Yuanming sect disciple said excitedly. "What? Elder Ma's clothes? So what? He once appeared in this mystic realm and was chased by vacant beasts. Isn't it normal for him to leave behind some pieces of clothing?" Lu Wen frowned, feeling that there was nothing wrong. "If that's the case, then it's fine. However, we also found some footprints nearby. We even found some auras left behind by Elder Ma Gubwa, as well as traces of martial mystical powers. We boldly guessed that Elder Ma might not be dead and is still alive in this mystic realm," and Yuanming sect disciple voiced out his guess. "Impossible." Hearing that, Lu Wen retorted instinctively. Elder Ma and the others were trying to avoid the vacant beasts and accidentally encountered a spatial storm. They fell into the storm-forbidden zone and are already dead. How can he still be alive? "Grand Elder, only Elder Ma said that. Who knows the truth? Since there are no witnesses, he can say whatever he wants. Moreover, spatial storms are extremely rare. How can one encounter one so easily?" And Yuanming sect elder said in a low voice. "However, if Elder Ma Gubwa isn't dead and is still alive in this mystic realm, why would he lie and say that he died and fell into a spatial storm? That doesn't make sense at all." Lu Wen couldn't figure it out and felt that it didn't make sense. Perhaps he discovered an unparalleled secret treasure in this mystic realm that is extremely beneficial to him. He was worried that he would be discovered when he returned to the sect. That's why he lied and said that he accidentally fell into a spatial storm and died. An elder guessed. After he digested this secret treasure and converted it into his own strength, he returned to the Yuanming sect and said that he escaped by luck. Then, no one would doubt him. That makes sense. Lu Wen's eyes shone brightly. To think that a secret treasure that could tempt a Dharma characteristic realm cultivator, forcing him to lie and fake his death. It seems like this secret treasure is very extraordinary. Even our fellow sect brothers don't believe it. To be honest, he was tempted. He couldn't wait to find Ma Gubwa's whereabouts and snatch that secret treasure. After all, it was obvious how precious it was for a Dharma characteristic realm cultivator to risk his life to obtain it. It was probably a treasure that was extremely useful even to a Thunder Tribulation realm cultivator. "Grand Elder, I dare to guess that Elder Ma must have appeared nearby and fought with the vacant beasts. I hope that Grand Elder can use a secret technique to find his whereabouts." An elder said in a low voice. Chapter 1793. Half a day passed. Lu Wen and a few other elders of the Yuanming sect moved out secretly. They used a secret technique to lock onto Ma Gubwa's aura and tracked him for thousands of miles. Finally, they found their destination. "Grand Elder, is this the place?" The group of Yuanming sect elders came to a huge mountain. The surroundings were extremely barren. There were piles of rocks, and there were no signs of human habitation. They didn't find anyone either. They looked at Lu Wen in confusion because they couldn't find any traces of Ma Gubwa. "That's right, this is the place." Lu Wen was very certain. This Ma Gubwa is really cunning. He erases his aura everywhere and destroys all traces of himself. Ordinary people probably won't be able to discover him and let him escape. However, who am I, Lu Wen? I'm a lightning tribulation realm mighty figure who's proficient in tracking. No matter how this guy tries to escape, he can't escape from my grasp. I still manage to find his traces. Everyone, please take a look. This place is very unusual. There's a high-level restriction array formation set up here. It distorts space and is invisible. It incorporates the 5 elements and reverses the 8 trigrams. That's why you guys didn't discover it and overlooked it. The many elders focused their eyes and carefully used their divine senses to probe the surroundings. In an instant, their expressions changed. Clearly, they sensed that something was very wrong with this place. As expected of the Grand Elder, there's indeed something wrong with this place. If not for Elder Lu's astonishing divine abilities, we really wouldn't have discovered that there's something fishy about this place and would have been tricked. Previously, I thought that Ma Gubwa was just a boorish fellow. I didn't expect him to be so well hidden. His attainments and restrictions and formations are actually so high. One really can't judge a book by its cover. It seems like his usual hot-tempered and easily angered image is fake. The real Ma Gubwa is a sinister, cunning, and scheming person. The many elders were astonished. It seemed like this was the first time they recognized Ma Gubwa's character. Some of them had known Ma Gubwa for more than 10,000 years, but they had never seen this side of him. It was as if they had never truly gotten to know Ma Gubwa. I like to see what secrets Elder Ma is hiding. He actually went through so much trouble. Luwin was getting more and more curious. For such a shrewd person to do something like this, the secret must be rather shocking. The moment he finished speaking, he formed seals with both hands and immediately attacked. Dong! Immediately, waves of ripples appeared in the air. It was as if there was a huge wave in the air. One after another, restrictive spells appeared, each containing an infinite amount of murderous intent. You have some ability, but it's useless. Luwin sneered. With a clang, he pulled out a 1-meter-long sword and slashed down horizontally. The sword froze the 13 continents. Dong! With just one strike, these layers of restrictions were immediately torn apart like tofu, and crackling sounds could be heard. The surrounding scenery changed, revealing its original appearance. Halfway up the mountain, a cave suddenly appeared, and a green-robed man stood in front of the cave with his hands clasped behind his back. He was calm and composed, outstanding, and had a dignified appearance. All the elders sucked in a breath of cold air. This person was none other than Ma Gubwa. A person who they thought was dead was now alive and well in front of them. Suddenly, they felt a change in the situation. Elder Ma, you really didn't die. How have you been? Luwin squinted his eyes, revealing a trace of coldness as he stared at Ma Gubwa. This Ma Gubwa was actually Xia Ping in disguise, using the formless mask. As for Ma Gubwa's clothes, aura, and so on, they were all left behind on purpose to lure this group of people. Anyway, the real Ma Gubwa was by his side, so it was too easy to take out such things. This was all part of Xia Ping's plan. If he took the initiative to show himself, this group of people would definitely be suspicious. But if they went through a lot of trouble and went through all kinds of speculations to find him, then they would definitely believe him. Elder Lu, what are you doing here? Xia Ping revealed a look of confusion. Ma Gubwa, don't play dumb. Don't you know why we're here? A black-robed elder shouted, staring at Xia Ping. That's right. Your fake death has been exposed. Stop pretending in front of us. A blue-robed elder sneered, as if he had seen through Xia Ping's disguise. You spent so much effort faking your death and hiding. Ma Gubwa, what secrets are you hiding? Tell us immediately and tell us the truth. A green-robed elder said coldly. Xia Ping blinked. Elders, I don't know what you're talking about. It's indeed my fault for faking my death and hiding. But this isn't something illegal, right? I just hate the various disputes and conflicts in the pugilistic world. That's why I wanted to find a place to temporarily enter seclusion and rest away from the world. What's wrong with that? Continue acting. The group of Yuanming sect elders looked at Xia Ping in disdain. Only a ghost would be able to see through the world. If he had really seen through it, he wouldn't have chosen to settle down in this godforsaken place where there were no women, no delicacies, and no signs of human habitation. They increasingly felt that Ma Gubwa had a huge secret on him. Otherwise, why would he keep hiding it? Ma Gubwa. At that moment, Grand Elder Luwin spoke. You're an elder of our Yuanming sect and a capable general. It's naturally not a big deal for you to fake your death and hide. No one will care if you want to live in seclusion. However, you've brought so many Yuanming sect disciples out, but none of them have disappeared. This is a big deal. As a Grand Elder, I have to investigate this properly. Otherwise, wouldn't all those Yuanming sect disciples have died in vain? Elder Lu, hearing that, Xia Ping seemed to reveal a hint of panic. He said, the deaths of those Yuanming sect disciples have nothing to do with me. They all died to the spatial storms. The reason why I didn't die was only because I was lucky and managed to escape. Seeing Xiaoping like this, Luwen felt even more smug. Thinking that he had something on Xiaoping, he laughed coldly and said, "You make it sound nice, but it's hard to say if these words are true or not. You'd better follow me back to the sect and continue investigating. Of course, what happens to you will depend on your performance." There was a hint of threat in his tone. It was clear that he was telling Xiaoping that as long as he cooperated, everyone would be happy. The deaths of those Yuanming sect disciples were nothing and would be treated as nothing more than a fart. However, if Ma Gubwa didn't cooperate, it would be very unpleasant. He could do whatever he wanted to Ma Gubwa. After all, he was a grand elder with immense authority. It was too easy for him to frame someone. Chapter 1794. What? Hearing this, the elders of the Yuanming sect perked up. The real show was finally here. Didn't they spend so much effort to find out this secret? They immediately listened attentively, including Lu Wen, the Grand Elder. "Oh, tell me about it." Lu Wen pretended to be calm, appearing nonchalant as he stood with his hands behind his back. "I found a rainbow divine stone," Xiaoping said calmly. "Rainbow divine stone?" The elders were dumbfounded. Their eyes widened as they stared at Xiaoping. "What seven-colored godstone? Could it be the priceless seven-colored godstone that's the main material used to refine a sacred artifact?" Lu Wen, who was still pretending to be calm, turned pale and could not help but ask repeatedly. Such a treasure was too shocking. Even sages would be tempted, let alone ordinary people like them. This was a treasure that could rival a country. If someone found a rainbow divine stone and went to exchange it with the sage would bestow a country for you to rule. From there, you would become a king and rule over countless planets. If you didn't want to be a king, you could also exchange all kinds of precious treasures with the sage. It wouldn't be a problem for you to obtain longevity pills that could extend your life. After all, that was the value of the rainbow divine stone. "That's right, it's this material." Xiaoping nodded. "Where is it? Could it be that you've obtained this seven-colored divine stone?" Lu Wen immediately asked. He almost asked Ma Gubwa to hand it over immediately. Only a Thunder Retribution Realm expert, like him, was qualified to obtain such a treasure. Before Xiaoping could speak, the space beside him suddenly fluctuated and distorted. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, figures appeared nearby, emitting powerful auras. There was no lack of Thunder Tribulation Realm experts. These people were the elders of the ancient Moon Sect, Tianjin Sect, Xintian Sect, Juntian Sect, and other forces. They followed Lu Wen and the others here and hid in the surroundings. Originally, they wanted to continue hiding. However, when they heard the words Rainbow Divine Stone, they couldn't hold it in anymore. All of them took the initiative to reveal their positions. "Why are you all here?" The faces of Lu Wen and the others immediately became extremely ugly. Their faces turned green, and they could not help but clench their fists. With this group of people here, it was likely that they would not be able to monopolize everything. "Haha, Lu Wen, you're really too petty. You actually didn't share such a secret with us. If we hadn't sent people to keep an eye on you at all times and saw you sneaking out of the camp, we wouldn't have known that Ma Gubwa was still alive and that he was even hiding such a shocking secret." The Grand Elder of the Guyu sect laughed cruelly. "Lu Wen, it's better for everyone to be happy than to be happy alone. The Rainbow Divine Stone is a supreme treasure. Aren't you afraid of being stuffed to death by trying to hog it all for yourself?" The Great Elder of the Heavenly Mirror sect sneered. He clearly wanted a piece of the pie. "That's right. Everyone who sees it has a share. We're all brothers of life and death. You actually want to cast us aside to obtain the supreme treasure. You've really disappointed me," the Xintian sect's Grand Elder said. "In any case, we must definitely take part in this matter. We can't let your Yuanming sect reap all the benefits. No matter what, it won't be justifiable." The Great Sky sect's Grand Elder's words were very domineering. Hearing this, Lu Wen's expression remained gloomy. He also knew that since this matter had been discovered by the other sects, his plan was completely ruined. There was no way he could hog it all for himself. He He was extremely vexed. He had clearly been very secretive, but he didn't expect the news to still be leaked. When he returned to the Yuanming sect, he would definitely reorganize the entire Yuanming sect. Otherwise, the entire sect would really be like a sieve, and no news would be able to be hidden. However, Luwen would never have thought that no matter how he tried to hide the news, it would definitely be leaked. This was because Xia Ping was the one who did it. Naturally, he wouldn't let the Yuanming sect monopolize it. If he didn't trick these few sects into joining him, how would he be able to carry out the next step of his plan? Now that all the forces were here, it was time for the show to begin. All right, we're all brothers. Naturally, I can't just leave everyone without any benefits. That's great. Elder Ma, tell us everything you know. Where's the rainbow divine stone? Is it in your hands? Luwen's heart was bleeding as he said this. It was as if a few pieces of his flesh had been cut off. However, the elders of the other sect had joined forces to force him to abdicate. He had no choice but to lower his head. Otherwise, if they angered the other sects, they would be doomed. I didn't get the rainbow divine stone, and it's not in my hands. Xia Ping spread his hands, indicating that he didn't get the rainbow divine stone at all. It's because it's in a super spatial stone mineral vein. It's surrounded by a large number of vacant bright beast kings, and I can't break through it all. Moreover, if I had gotten the rainbow divine stone, I would have left this damn place long ago. Why would I continue to stay here? Hearing this, the elders present nodded. They also believed Xia Ping's words. If Xia Ping had gotten the rainbow divine stone, it was impossible for him to continue staying here. Running away would be the best plan. Where's that super mineral vein? Luwen asked. It's not far from here. Xia Ping said, in order to get the rainbow divine stone, I spent a lot of time digging an underground tunnel from this place. It connects to the deepest part of the mineral vein, and it can avoid the vacant bright beast detection. He pointed at the cave. This underground tunnel was dug by golden slimes, and it could connect to the deepest part of the mineral vein. There really is an underground tunnel, and it's really deep. It seems like you spent a lot of effort to get the rainbow divine stone. An elder immediately went over to investigate, and, as expected, he found an underground tunnel. Even if a Law Phase realm expert had deep magic power, it would still take a lot of effort to dig an underground tunnel. What's the point of spending effort? In the end, it's all for someone else. Xia Ping revealed a very unwilling look. Elder Ma, don't be so emotional. You discovered the existence of the seven-colored divine stone, which is also a great contribution. After we obtain these treasures, I guarantee that you will also have a share. Even if you don't have any contribution, you have worked hard. Luwen made an empty promise to appease Xia Ping. Anyway, bragging didn't cost anything. When the time came, they could just casually give Ma Gubwa some spatial stones and send him away. They would still get most of the benefits, and it would be good if the others could get some scraps. What are we waiting for? Hurry up and get the rainbow divine stone. Many elders couldn't wait anymore. Let's go. Luwen waved his hand. Chapter 1795. What an amazing underground tunnel. It seems like Eldamar really put in a lot of effort. Everyone walked into the underground tunnel and realized that it was really huge. It was over 1,000 kilometers long and a few thousand meters deep. Even so, it didn't collapse. Such a huge project must have taken a lot of effort. This was like a foolish old man moving a mountain. Luckily, you spent so much effort, and in the end, all the benefits were taken by others. Life really isn't in your hands. Xia Ping chuckled. Hearing these unhappy voices, Luwen and the others completely ignored them. Instead, they felt happy deep down. This fellow had paid such a huge price, and they were the ones who took the fruits. Was there anything better than this? The happiness of life was built on the pain of others. So, not long after, they advanced quickly and finally reached the deepest part of the underground tunnel. They came to the huge space where the seven-colored godstone was. They were only a wall away from the underground space. It really is the seven-colored godstone. Elder Ma didn't lie to us. An elder used his divine sense to sense that the seven-colored godstone was standing in the middle of the underground cave. It gave off a seven-colored glow and looked extremely magical. Immediately, Many people became excited. Their eyes lit up like jackals and wolves. They wanted nothing more than to snatch the heavenly Wonderstone and make it their own. Wait, don't be rash. This place is the lair of the empty, bright beasts. There are hundreds and thousands of empty, bright beast kings in the surroundings. We should think of a way to snatch this divine stone without alarming these beast kings. Lewin spoke cautiously. He sensed that there was a dense expanse of emptiness beasts living in this underground cave, and there were countless of them that caused one's scalp to go numb. If they were to go berserk, then it would simply be a calamity. That's right. We do need to think about this for the long term. Many elders nodded and felt that this was a mature suggestion. Even if they wanted to snatch the treasure, they had to reduce their own losses to the lowest level. Think about it for the long term. When Xiaoping heard these words, he was filled with disdain. How could he give these people a chance to think about it for the long term? Since he had brought them here, then the plan could begin. Illusion, one thought, one world. Hong, in an instant, with Xiaoping's body as the center, the surrounding 10,000 kilometers were covered in illusions. They merged into the void silently, and it was as if an illusory space had appeared in this place. However, no one could sense it. It was as if a single breath had changed their mental perception. This was the power of the true insight of illusions. When the level of illusions reached a certain level, even a lightning tribulation realm cultivator would not be able to sense what was happening. Xiaoping's body flashed, and he immediately left. The surrounding sect elders did not sense anything, thinking that Xiaoping had stayed behind. They did not know that it was just an illusion, and, of course, they did not sense anything either because the illusion power had blinded their senses. Whoosh! In the next second, he passed through the wall and arrived at the underground cave. At this moment, the vacant beast kings did not notice that a stranger had invaded their territory. They were still lying on the ground, lazily, like salted fish. Without hesitation, Xiaoping's figure flickered and instantly arrived at the west side of the underground cave. He grabbed the seven-colored divine stone with one hand. When the rainbow divine stone sensed the invasion of an unfamiliar power, it immediately resisted instinctively. A terrifying spatial ripple burst out from its body, bombarding in all directions and condensing into a solid substance. Dong! The illusory world that had been set up in the surroundings was immediately shattered by the spatial ripple. It cracked like glass, revealing the real world. At this moment, Lu Wan and the other vacant beast kings suddenly realized that there was an unfamiliar figure in the underground cave. He was grabbing the seven-color divine stone with one hand. Damn it, Wu Wudi! That's Wu Wudi! Damn it, why is he here? The Shantian sect's Grand Elder immediately screamed. This guy was a wanted criminal of the Shantian sect. With his portrait, even if he turned to dust, he would still recognize this kid. No wonder he didn't appear when we set up the trap. Did he also find this underground mine and want the seven-color divine stone? The Heaven Reflection sect's Grand Elder immediately remembered what had happened. Stop him immediately. We cannot let him get the seven-colored divine stone. Even if we feed it to the dogs, we cannot let this bastard get any benefits. The Ancient Moon sect's Grand Elder shouted angrily. When he saw Xiaoping appear, he recalled all the things that had happened before. It was really a combination of old and new hatred. Previously, they had been played by this bastard, and a large number of spatial stones had been taken away. Now, he wanted to snatch their seven-colored divine stone. How could this be? Even Buddha had anger. Don't worry, this kid is dead. He actually dared to rush in to snatch the seven-colored divine stone. Isn't he courting death? Later, the angry vacant beast kings will tear this guy into pieces. The Great Sky sect's Grand Elder sneered and looked like he was watching a good show. Human, there's a human in this place? Damned human invader. How dare you steal our clan's god's stone? You're courting death. Kill him. Kill this damned human immediately. The Empyrean beast kings roared, unable to restrain their anger. They discovered that there were intruders in their lair and even tried to steal their race's treasures. This was something they could not tolerate. Immediately, a terrifying spatial fluctuation brewed from their bodies, almost distorting the surrounding space. Waves of tyrannical aura emerged, shaking the void and emitting endless killing intent. The surrounding cultivators were all trembling. It seemed that under such killing intent, they were like a small boat in a storm, in danger of capsizing at any time. However, at this moment, Xiaoping revealed a mysterious smile and turned to look at where Lu Wan and the others were. With a swoosh, the seven-colored divine stone in his hand immediately flew out like a cannonball. Dong! In the next second, the seven-colored divine stone penetrated the mountain wall and the surrounding rocks shattered. Lu Wan and the others immediately appeared and were exposed in front of the vacant Beast Kings. The seven-colored divine stone also fell into the hands of the Xiantian sect's Grand Elder, who was closest to it. At this moment, he was still a little dumbfounded and did not know what had happened. This was simply a blessing from the heavens. He did not know how the seven-colored divine stone fell into his hands. "Brother, I will leave the rest to you. My mission is complete. Take the seven-colored divine stone away quickly and do not delay," Xiaoping shouted at Lu Wan and the others. Then, he immediately escaped and hid his aura. What brother? Who the hell is his brother? What kind of nonsense is this brat spouting? Could it be that he has lost his mind? The Xiantian sect's Grand Elder cursed and felt that Wu Wudi was crazy. Chapter 1796. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? The Xiantian sect's Supreme Elder panicked. A cultivator beside him signaled with his eyes to look outside. The Xiantian sect's Supreme Elder wasn't an idiot. Seeing such a gaze, he was enlightened. He turned his head and his entire body stiffened as if he had been petrified, because he immediately felt hundreds and thousands of killing intents rushing towards him like a tidal wave. All of them were targeting him, condensing in the air and causing his hair to stand on end. As expected, this human has an accomplice. He even wants his accomplice to take the divine stone away. He must be courting death. Kill them all. Kill them all to scare the monkeys. All invaders must die. The vacant Beast Kings roared in rage. They were furious like never before and couldn't control themselves at all. Such an action would destroy the peace they had enjoyed for millions of years. They couldn't tolerate such a thing. Immediately, the group of vacant Beast Kings roared towards the sky. Terrifying spatial energy brewed in their bodies like countless spatial runes gathered together and exploded. The surrounding cultivators felt as if the god of death had descended upon them. Their primordial spirits trembled. Misunderstanding. This is definitely a misunderstanding. I'm not close to that bastard. Not close at all. He is framing me, harming me. You must believe in my innocence. If you don't believe me, I can return the seven-colored divine stone to you. The Xiantian sect's Supreme Elder was so scared that he peed his pants. Being targeted by thousands of vacant Beast Kings, his life was as cold as ice. His hatred towards Xiaoping immediately reached a peak. He gritted his teeth so hard that he almost broke them. If it wasn't for that shameless bastard, he wouldn't have fallen to such a state. But no matter how he explained, the surrounding vacant Beast Kings didn't care. In their eyes, this was just a quarrel between ants. No matter what the truth of the matter was, as long as they killed all the invaders, they would be able to take back the seven-colored God's stone. Everything else was just minor details and not worth mentioning. Spatial cannon. In an instant, the hollow, bright Beast Kings roared and used their innate mystique, space cannon. This was a destructive attack that gathered the power of space within their bodies. With this attack, even a star would be blasted into pieces. Its power was boundless. Hundreds and thousands of space cannons attacked. It was not inferior to the main cannons of a super space battleship. This was a battle that could destroy a galaxy. It was earth-shattering. Run! Lu Wan and the others felt their hair stand on end and were scared half to death. They couldn't care less about the mysterious Heaven Sect's Great Elder and had no intention of helping. In order to survive, they fled in all directions to avoid this attack. On the other hand, the profound Heaven Sect's Supreme Elder was unable to escape at all because the spatial cannon had locked onto his body. No matter where he ran, he would not be able to escape. No, don't kill me, don't kill me. I'm the Supreme Elder of the Dark Heaven Sect. a mighty figure at the peak of the Thunder Retribution realm, a supreme existence that has the potential to become a saint. You bastards, you damned feathered animals, how dare you kill me? The profound Heaven Sex Grand Elder roared. He was extremely unwilling to accept this outcome. He used everything he had, taking out magic treasures one by one and throwing them out. He also activated his defensive abilities in an attempt to block this attack. However, it was of no use. One after another, the spatial cannon blasted towards him, tearing through the void. It directly shattered many of the magic treasures on his body and disintegrated them into molecules. His defensive abilities were also useless. He was even more fragile than tofu. With a boom, his entire body shattered and turned into a pile of meat paste. Only his yuan shan was left. Wu Wuti, you bitch, you shameless bastard. How dare you plot against me like this? I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. I'll wait for the day you go to hell. I'm the profound Heaven Sex Grand Elder. I have a bright future ahead of me and a lifespan of 50,000 years. How can I die just like this? I can't accept this. I can't accept this. The profound Heaven Sex Grand Elder was extremely unwilling and resentful. However, under the intense spatial fluctuations, his yuan shan was instantly annihilated. The place where he stood was immediately blasted to the ground, creating a terrifying hole. Rubble flew in all directions, creating a powerful shockwave. It was as if a super earthquake had occurred. Many sect elders couldn't dodge in time and were all severely injured. Some unlucky ones who were closer were directly turned into meat paste, following in the profound Heaven Sex Grand Elder's footsteps. Shameless bastard. That despicable Wu Wuti actually dared to do such a thing. The profound Heaven Sect will not let you off. Just you wait. You shameless bastard will not have a good ending. When the profound Heaven Sex Elder saw this, he was so angry that his body trembled. This was the profound Heaven Sex Grand Elder, a peak tribulation lightning powerhouse, who knew how much time and resources it would take to raise such a powerhouse. But now, such a powerhouse was gone just like that. This was an unbearable loss for the profound Heaven Sect. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and run. We've already been targeted by this group of vacant beasts. They want to kill us all. An elder was trembling in fear. He didn't even have time to curse at Wu Wuti. This was because he sensed that because of this attack, the underground world within a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers had been shaken. Countless vacant beasts seemed to have received the vacant Beast King's call and were rushing over from all directions. Whoosh! At that moment, Lewin waved his hand. The rainbow divine stone that had flown into a corner due to the aftershock of the attack instantly landed in his hand. It shone with a rainbow light. Lewin, are you crazy? You still want to snatch the rainbow divine stone at a time like this? Aren't you afraid that the vacant beast kings will kill you? An elder beside him cursed. He felt that Lewin was too greedy. He still wanted to snatch the rainbow divine stone at a time like this. This was a classic case of someone who valued money more than his life. Even if we don't take the rainbow divine stone, the beast kings will still come to kill us. We might as well take the rainbow divine stone and gain some benefits. Otherwise, if we leave without getting anything, we'll be suffering a double loss. Lewin sneered. No matter what, he was definitely going to get the rainbow divine stone. Roar! At that moment, the many beast kings sensed that the rainbow divine stone had once again fallen into the hands of the humans. They became even more furious and charged at the humans. Hurry up and run. The Yuanming sect and the other elders were in a panic. They couldn't care less about anything else. They quickly fled towards the underground tunnel, trying to rush out of the ground and avoid the pursuit of the Beast Kings. They were like stray dogs now, fleeing in all directions. Bang! 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 The vacant Beast Kings were enraged. They chased them all the way, causing the underground world to collapse and the seas to dry up. Many cultivators couldn't escape in time and were killed on the spot. At that moment, the entire underground mine was almost empty. A large number of vacant beasts moved out to chase after Lu Wan and the others. Whoosh! Chapter 1797. They're finally all gone. Xiaoping smiled. He had spent so much effort to let the empty light beast and Yuan Ming's sect fight. From the looks of it, the plan was really successful. Little Gold, come out. Swallow all the spatial stones in this place and dig them clean. He immediately let the golden slime appear. Slime. The golden slime was very excited. With a swoosh, it appeared. It sensed that there were countless delicacies in this place. Rumble, hearing Xia Ping's words, it immediately merged into the mine. Its entire body turned into a golden liquid that expanded in all directions and slowly wriggled. Wherever it went, a large number of spatial stones disappeared at a visible rate. As there was no empty light beast to stop it, the golden slime could freely swallow without being disturbed. The empty light beast king probably wasn't interested in these things. The rainbow godstone was their most important thing. Master, the rainbow godstone has been snatched by those people. What should we do? The green cow was worried. It's okay. How can they escape so easily? Let them try to escape for a period of time. Xiaoping was very calm. He had left his spiritual imprint on the rainbow godstone long ago. No matter where the rainbow godstone went, he would know. Therefore, he wasn't worried that the rainbow godstone would be snatched away. I see. Hearing this, the green cow was at ease. Just Little Gold alone isn't enough. It seems like I need a helper. Menglu, come out too. Xiaoping touched his chin and waved his hand. He immediately called out Tan Menglu, the glutton. Stupid master, why did you call me out? Can't you see that I am eating? Tan Menglu opened her eyes wide and looked at Xiaoping angrily. Her face was greasy and dirty. She grabbed a lamb leg with her left hand and a piece of beef with her right. She ate happily. There are many spatial stones here. Help me eat them, but you can't swallow them all. I have great use for them. Xiaoping pointed at the mine. Spatial stones? When Tan Menglu heard this, her eyes lit up. As expected, a master. Where did you find so many delicious things? This is top-notch food. Is it destined that the heavens want me to eat my fill? With a smack, Xiaoping knocked her little head. These spatial stones are all mine. You're only allowed to eat a part of them. If you dare to eat all of them, I'll punish you by not eating for 3 days. What? You're not allowed to eat for 3 days. Are you a demon? A demon? Tan Menglu's eyes widened. She looked at Xiaoping as though she was looking at a super demon. What kind of torture was it to make a Taodai starve for 3 days? Cut the crap and get to work. Xiaoping's eyes widened. He looked like a fiend, like a landlord in ancient times driving away his serfs. Damn it, Tan Menglu had no choice but to be eaten alive. After all, her food was in the hands of this hateful demon. 1 day later, the elders of the ancient Moon sect, the Xintian sect, the Yuanming sect, and the Great Sky sect were being chased by the Beast Kings all over the world. They wanted to board the battleship and leave this place quickly, but there was no chance at all. Many elders died in battle, torn to pieces by the furious Beast Kings. Even some of the supreme elders were heavily injured, coughing up blood incessantly, struggling at death's door. This also made them extremely resentful towards Xiaoping, the instigator of all this. At this moment, they had avoided the Beast King's pursuit and were hiding in a remote cave to rest temporarily. It's all that Wu Wudi's fault. If it weren't for that bastard stirring shit up, we would have safely obtained the Rainbow Divine Stone and left without anyone knowing. It's all that bastard's fault that the situation has deteriorated to this extent. A Xintian sect elder gritted his teeth, extremely resentful towards Xiaoping. Once we leave this godforsaken place, we must hunt this bastard down. We must skin him alive and pull out his tendons. Our Xintian sect's supreme elder died at the hands of this bastard. There's not even a corpse left. Many Xintian sect elders hated Wu Wudi to the core. That detestable Wu Wudi. He's the public enemy of the universe. He has nothing better to do all day, and he harms others and himself. I will never live under the same sky as him in this lifetime. The ancient Moon sect elder was extremely resentful. After being tricked by this guy again and again, even a clay figurine would be angry. Don't worry, our 5 sects are on the same side. We're all sects of the northern universe. This kid is the public enemy. Once you cover my escape, you'll definitely put out a bounty for him. The person who spoke was the Yuanming sect's supreme elder, Lu Wen. He was not in good condition at the moment, because he had the rainbow divine stone on him. He was heavily injured by the Beast Kings and coughed up blood incessantly. Fortunately, he was proficient in life-saving techniques and protective mystiques, so he had barely survived. Moreover, we've gained a lot this time. We've obtained quite a number of space stones and this rainbow divine stone. When we get out, it'll be enough to make up for all our losses. I won't mistreat everyone. Lu Wen patted his chest, looking like a leader. Get out? How do we get out? We're being chased by the Beast Kings. There's no way out. There's no way out. A Xintian sect elder said helplessly. That's all right. I've already informed the sect headquarters. In half a day, they'll send a large number of elites over with countless warships. This force is enough to bring us away safely. Lu Wen was full of confidence. I didn't expect the Yuanming sect to arrive so quickly after informing the headquarters. Our sect is too far away from this place. Distant water can't quench our present thirst. The people from the Xintian sect shook their heads. Their sect was too far away from this place. Even if reinforcements arrived, it would take several days. There was no way they could make it in time. Strange. Where did Elder Ma Gubwa go? Someone asked curiously. Ma Gubwa was nowhere to be seen. I'm not sure. Maybe they got separated. After all, it was chaotic just now. Who would notice where he went? An elder shook his head. He did not care about such a small matter. After all, Ma Gubwa was just a Dharma plane elder. He could not affect the overall situation, so not many people noticed his whereabouts. Let's rest for a while and recover some strength. Later, we'll break out and leave this godforsaken place. Lu Wen said in a low voice. Everyone nodded. Dong! All of a sudden, an air-piercing sound rang out, tearing through the void. With lightning speed, a brick ruthlessly smashed into Lu Wen's head. Ah! Lu Wen screamed. He did not know what had happened at all. He immediately saw stars, and his mind went blank. He foamed at the mouth and fainted just like that. Who's there? Chapter 1798. It's you, Wu Wuti. You bastard. How dare you show yourself? A Xintian sect elder shouted. He realized that the person who had knocked Elder Lu unconscious with a brick was Wu Wuti. The enemy he had been thinking about day and night had actually appeared in front of him. Wu Wuti. Everyone was shocked. Wu Wuti's appearance was beyond their expectations. They did not expect Wu Wuti to still dare to appear at this time. Furthermore, he was so brazen. He was really arrogant. If he didn't completely look down on them, how would he dare to knock Elder Lu Wen out with a brick in front of everyone at this time? They had been completely looked down upon. Everyone, how have you been? Thank you for bringing the rainbow divine stone out. I'm very grateful. If there is a chance in the future, I will definitely repay all of you. Xiaoping smiled slightly. He deftly removed an interspatial ring from Lu Wen's body. It contained the rainbow divine stone and a large number of Dharma treasures on Lu Wen's body. Stop, thief. Put down your filthy hands. How dare you knock Elder Lu unconscious with a brick in front of us? You even tried to snatch his Dharma treasures. Do you think we're invisible? One of the Yuanming sect elders shouted angrily, unable to restrain his anger. He felt that this kid was looking down on them too much. He ignored the group of elders and swaggered around to snatch their treasures. How much did he look down on them before he would let it go? If they allowed this kid to escape today, they would really be too ashamed to face anyone. How could they continue living in this world? They might as well kill themselves with a piece of tofu. Attack, kill this kid. That's great. If he dares to appear, kill him. Everyone, let's join forces and kill this be****starred. I've tolerated this be****starred for a long time. This is a heaven-sent opportunity. Wu Wuti, today is the day you die. All the elders sneered. They surrounded Xiaoping, leaving no space for him to escape. At the same time, they circulated the power of their supernatural powers in an attempt to kill him together. Everyone, why are you so angry? Anger is not the solution. Only by being peaceful can we make money, and only by being harmonious can we develop. Xiaoping sighed and tried to dissuade them. He had a compassionate expression on his face. Bullsh***T. Although it can't solve the problem, it can get rid of a wanted criminal like you. Wu Wudi, your evil days are over. Go to hell. All the elders were furious. They did not give Xiaoping a chance to speak and joined forces to kill him. However, before they could do anything, Xiaoping gently waved his hand and a scarlet flame burst out from his body. In an instant, the scarlet flame spread out in all directions. Immediately, with him as the center, a radius of dozens of miles was enveloped by the flame. Not good. Quick hide. Son of a B asterisk TCH. That's the karmic fire of the Buddhist sect. God damn it. Why does he have the karmic fire of the Buddhist sect on him? A Guyu sect elder screamed. He was the closest to Xiaoping and was instantly engulfed by the fire. In an instant, his entire body turned into a human-shaped torch. He was covered in the karmic fire of the Buddhist sect. The karmic karma on his body burned, and even his primordial spirit was burning. In just a few breaths of time, the ancient moon sect elder was burnt to ashes, leaving not even his bones behind. Everyone's hair stood on end. They could not help but scatter in all directions. They saw that the flame was burning with Wu Wudi at the center. It seemed to form a huge red lotus that covered dozens of miles. It was as if there were countless Buddhas chanting in the void. Scriptures appeared, and golden lotuses appeared on the ground. Retreat. Retreat. You can't fight Wudi's Wudi karmic fire. The more sins you have, the faster you die. Damn it. Wudi karmic fire is used to kill evil criminals. Why? Why is Wu Wudi able to control Wudi karmic fire, but not burn himself to death? The heavens are blind. A villain can control Wudi karmic fire. Is there any justice in this? All the elders were scared out of their wits and fled. They had been able to advance to their current realm because they had fought for resources and territory. Which one of them had not killed? Which one of them had not sinned? If their karmic fire could be seen, they would all be glowing with red light. As a result, the karmic fire of Buddhism was the greatest bane to them. Once they came into contact with it, they would not be able to escape from the terrifying karmic fire until their souls were completely incinerated. This was an extremely vicious flame that killed without leaving a trace. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The elders were all like stray dogs. They fled out of the cave, wishing their parents had given them more legs. None of them wanted to avenge Lu Wan, nor did they want to kill Wu Wudi. They only wanted to run for their lives. They wanted to run as far as possible. Lu Wan was extremely lucky. He had fainted at Xiaoping's feet, so he had not been corroded by Wudi karmic fire. He had escaped unscathed. Go! Seeing the elders flee, Xiaoping did not plan to chase after them. There was no time. He sensed that the spatial tunnel outside the mystic realm was becoming unstable. He estimated that the spatial tunnel would completely collapse after a while. The mystic realm would also fall into the depths of the dimensional space. If they did not escape now, they would fall into the endless dimensional space and never be able to return. Therefore, he left the stone vein in advance and let the golden slime and Tanmenglu leave immediately. However, even though they had only devoured for a day, the golden slime and Tao Dai were extremely terrifying devouring creatures. It was enough for them to devour more than half of the spatial stone vein. Now, inside the space of his mountain river pearl, there was a pile of spatial stones that were as tall as 1,000 zhang. They were simply piled up like a mountain, filled with dense spatial energy, almost condensing into a substance. Whoosh! Xiaoping's figure flickered, and he immediately left the mystic realm. What's going on? That villain Wu Wudi did not chase after us. Instead, he ran away. Someone saw Xiaoping's departing figure. Oh no, this spatial tunnel is already unstable. It will completely collapse in 2 hours. We have to run as soon as possible. Otherwise, we will be trapped here forever. No wonder that bastard ran so fast. An elder's expression changed. He sensed that there was a problem with the spatial tunnel. Retreat, retreat immediately. There are no more treasures for us to take. Hurry and run. The elders also decided to flee immediately. If they continued to stay here, they might never be able to leave again. They all sped up and fled this place. Chapter 1799. A few days later, the northern universe was in an uproar. The Yuanming sect, the Ancient Moon sect, the Heavenly Mirror sect, the Xintian sect, and the Great Sky sect jointly issued a wanted order to hunt down the wanted criminal, Wu Wuti. At the same time, they offered a huge bounty. This incident shook the Northern Universe. This was the first time the 5 sects of the Northern Universe had jointly issued a bounty for a criminal. It also caused countless cultivators to discuss and guess what had happened. Wu Wuti, that guy has appeared again. What earth-shattering thing did he do this time? He actually made the 5 sects chase after him and issue a kill order. Someone heard the news. To be honest, he was numb. Wu Wuti caused trouble everywhere. It was as if he had offended all the sects in the entire universe. There was nothing that he did not dare to do. My aunt's father's friend is in the Yuanming sect. It said that the Yuanming sect found a mystic realm rich in spatial stones. I didn't expect to meet Wu Wuti. Someone divulged some information. The result is obvious. This bastard is despicable and shameless. He plotted against the elders of the 5 great sects, causing them to suffer great losses and being chased by the vacant bright beast king. In the end, that bastard obtained a large number of spatial stones, but the 5 sects did not get anything. They died. One can imagine how angry the upper echelons of the 5 sects were. They wanted to kill him. F***, this kid is ruthless. He actually caused the 5 sects to suffer so badly. What kind of scheme did he use? I'm not sure. He didn't say the details. I guess the elders of the 5 sects felt that it was too embarrassing, so they hid the matter. They couldn't embarrass themselves. I heard that the Yuanming sect's Grand Elder, Lu Wan, was the most miserable. He seemed to have been hit by Wu Wuti with a stick. His brain has problems, and his consciousness is blurred. Even his treasures have been snatched away. He's completely penniless. Now, he's furious in the sect. He's extremely irritable, and he's clamoring to kill Wu Wuti. Sigh, Grand Elder Lu Wan was also a gentleman in the past. It's all because of this bastard Wu Wuti that he drove him crazy. He's completely heartless. The sects of the Northern Cosmos are all fierce and ferocious. I didn't expect them to be defeated by Wu Wuti and end up like this. How sad. Is there no one who can control this kid? Everyone discussed animatedly and sighed endlessly. I heard that not only did the 5 major sects lose their spatial stones, but even the Rainbow Divine Stone was taken away by Wu Wuti. Someone suddenly revealed a big secret. What? Rainbow God Stone? You must be joking. Even a saint would drool over such a treasure. That's right. It's a treasure of this level. The news was leaked by the 5 great sections. How could they take it lying down after losing such a treasure? It would be strange if they didn't retaliate. I see, so that's how it is. I reckon that the elders of the 5 great sects must be incredibly angry after losing such a peerless treasure. No matter how many people died, it would be impossible for them to suffer such a great loss. However, this kid has such a treasure on him. I'm afraid there are quite a few people who have their eyes on him. Needless to say, there are already quite a few universe-level mercenaries and peerless demons who are eager to find Wu Wuti's whereabouts and kill him for his treasure. Right now, Wu Wuti is like a boss in a game. He has countless treasures on him. Whoever can kill him first will obtain countless treasures and become rich overnight. Many people's eyes were red with greed. They wanted nothing more than to find Wu Wuti immediately. This was because killing Wu Wuti would not only earn a bounty from the 5 great sects of the Northern Cosmos, but also from the Western Cosmos, Southern Cosmos, and even the Eastern Cosmos. This kind of bounty was very shocking, and it made people salivate. There were also the various treasures on him, which were even more tempting. Countless old demons were eager to make a move. They secretly inquired about Wu Wuti and wanted to kill him. Eastern Cosmos, Qinkuan sect, Xiuxiu, Suji, Sumei, Jiangyaru, Nangongwu, Churong, and Yuchichi had already gathered together. They had also quickly heard the news. What did this bad guy do? He actually went to the Northern Cosmos? Churong was speechless. There won't be any problems, right? It's not a good thing to offend the 5 great sections. Zhang Yar was a little worried about Xia Ping's safety. Worry my ass. He's always been the one bullying others. I've never seen anyone bully him. That bastard is the worst human I've ever seen. Yuchichi said with disdain. I agree. He's a bad egg. Suji nodded. Let's not worry about this bad guy. Let's talk about our own matters. Recently, I found a tourist planet. The scenery on it is very beautiful, and there are many delicacies. We could travel there. She changed the topic and excitedly discussed tourism and delicacies. Northern Cosmos. Xiuxiu, Nangong Wu, and Sumei's expressions were very complicated because their original sect, Mingyue Court, was in the Northern Universe. But now that something like this had happened, they had all become wanted criminals and could not return. But perhaps this was also a good thing. Somewhere in the Southern Cosmos, Tu Linglong and Qing Wan were both in the Demon Temple. Both of them had solemn expressions. Sister Qing Wan, the next mission of the Demon Temple is about to begin. It's extremely difficult. It's to determine the true successor of the Demon Temple. I'm afraid it'll be very difficult for just the two of us. We need to find a trustworthy and capable helper. Tu Linglong said in a deep voice. The Demon Temple was a mysterious artifact. It had countless clones and existed to cultivate demon sages. The Demon Temple in the Cloud World was just one of them. In fact, there are many demonic temples in the universe. These demonic temples will also nurture some descendants to become demonic sage candidates. However, since they were demons, they were full of blood and cruelty. They worshipped the law of the jungle. The Demon Temple was like breeding insects. They put many demon sages' successors together to fight each other. The one who could win would get the biggest benefit. The winner takes all. Trustworthy and capable person? It seems like there's no one else but that human. Qing Wan suddenly thought of Xiaoping. Although they had a lot of grievances with Xiaoping, they didn't have any deep hatred. In terms of ability, this human was also one of the best. Among the many creatures in the Cloud World, no one could be compared to him. Of course, there were many experts outside the Cloud World, but they didn't know those experts, so naturally, they couldn't trust them. After thinking about it, only Xiaoping was the most suitable person. Although I'm very unwilling, this time we can only ask the human for help. But I don't know if he will refuse. Tu Linglong clenched her fist. This is actually a big opportunity. He probably won't refuse. Chapter 1800. A few days later, Xiaoping stayed on a primitive planet near planet Yanwang, cultivating in seclusion. He felt that he could no longer suppress his cultivation that he had been suppressing for a long time. The Gaia energy that was originally hidden in the deepest part of his body suddenly gushed out like a mountain torrent. At this moment, his body was full of spiritual power. The spiritual power in the depths of his purple mansion had reached its peak. His 9 primordial spirits had almost reached the realm of perfection. Dong! After an unknown amount of time, Xiaoping's body shook, as if a certain bottleneck in his body had been completely broken. It was like water flowing when the conditions were right. Everything happened naturally. Late stage of the returning truth realm. He felt that he had finally broken through the middle stage of the returning truth realm and stepped into the next realm. This also caused his body to undergo earth-shaking changes. First, the 9 primordial spirits in his body had expanded by a lot. The spiritual power in the depths of the purple mansion kept rotating like a water drill, constantly expanding the space and the size of the purple mansion. Then the 9 primordial spirits also experienced great growth, constantly growing from a height of 100 zhong to a height of 100 zhong. This was like a small mountain, incomparably majestic. And the range of Xiaoping's divine sense also expanding crazily, millions of kilometers, even reaching hundreds of millions of kilometers. It was simply vast and boundless. Bang, bang, bang. When his divine sense power expanded to the extreme, the dimensional power in the depths of the void also seemed to be drawn down. Suddenly, a dimensional black hole appeared, transmitting a huge amount of dimensional energy. This energy was extremely rich, pouring down like a ladle, pouring into the deepest part of his body, causing every cell in his body to greedily absorb it. Comfortable, Xiaoping couldn't help but exclaim. He felt that the infusion of this energy was like the sweet dew after a long drought. And Xiaoping's body strength, speed, reaction speed, and so on were all rapidly increasing. At the same time, the golden crow of hell cells in his body were also rapidly unsealed. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. In the end, millions of golden crow of hell cells were unsealed. So far, he had awakened more than 20 million golden crow of hell cells. The flames in his body were even more intense, and thousands of golden crow of hell runes appeared, fusing into the depths of his blood. Boom! Xiaoping suddenly stood up, and a terrifying aura exploded out from his body. The mountain he had been cultivating and collapsed, and even the ground cracked. Cracking sounds could be heard. Vaguely, these auras seemed to solidify. The 9 primordial spirits almost rushed out from the depths of the Z Palace, as if they were about to break through the barrier and condense into Dharma forms between heaven and earth. He had a feeling that once he condensed the heaven and earth Dharma, he would definitely condense 9 heaven and earth Dharma. The power that would erupt from him would be boundless. However, the amount of essence needed to condense the 9 supreme dharmic idols was immeasurable. Ordinary sects could not afford it, and it was enough to bring down a small sect. Xiaoping felt that he was very close to the Dharma characteristic realm. His essence soul was already sufficiently powerful, surpassing all ordinary Dharma characteristic eminences. As long as he had enough essence energy in his body, he could immediately attempt to break through to the Dharma characteristic realm. Beep! At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Congratulations to the host for provoking the hatred of the 5 major sects of the Northern Universe. You have received 50 hatred crystals. I hope you can continue to work hard. 50 hatred crystals? Hearing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up. In addition to the previous hatred crystals, he had a total of 300 hatred crystals on him. This amount of hatred crystals was enough to exchange for a low-grade sage artifact. Of course, he wouldn't exchange for it. Good steel had to be used on a good blade. Moreover, he already had a lot of tyrannical magic treasures on him. Another sage artifact would just be icing on the cake, not a timely help. Little gold. Have you also evolved? Suddenly, Xiaoping felt that the golden slime on his body seemed to have evolved. The aura on his body became illusory and filled with a rich spatial aura. Slime. Suddenly, the golden slime seemed to sense Xiaoping's thoughts. It immediately flew out of Xiaoping's body and flew in the air, condensing into a flying sword. This flying sword was transparent and emitted a terrifying golden gung qi. It contained supreme sharpness, as if it could even cut through space with a gentle slash. Unlike before, the sword condensed by the golden slime only contained incomparable sharpness, but after devouring a large number of space stones, it actually possessed spatial attributes. Whoosh! Xiaoping's thoughts moved, and the flying sword flew out in an instant. Suddenly, it became invisible and escaped into the void, merging with the surrounding spatial fluctuations. With a bang, the flying sword instantly cut a mountain in front of it in half, splitting it from the middle, and there was even no sound in it. This was simply an invisible sword, the strongest killer sword. If he controlled it with his mind, this flying sword could immediately fly out and silently behead a strong enemy. It was estimated that the other party's head would be cut off, and the other party wouldn't even know that they were dead. Kill. Xiaoping imbued his spiritual power and controlled the flying sword. In an instant, the flying sword immediately split into thousands of transparent sharp blades, blasting towards the distance. Dong dong dong! A series of transparent sharp blades blasted down, and in an instant, the land was smashed into pieces, the mountains were razed to the ground, the sword chi crisscrossed, and countless astonishing cracks appeared on the ground. It's so convenient. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He was very excited. He could use this flying sword with ease. The golden slime must have reached the level of supreme great spirit weapon right now, and had even fused spatial attributes into it, making it equivalent to a half-step sage weapon. The power that it could unleash was simply unheard of. Slime. With a whoosh, the golden slime turned back into its original form, a soft, gelatinous ball. Its little head rubbed against Xia Ping, as if it was acting coquettishly to express its love. Not bad, well done. Xia Ping smiled and reached out to touch the golden slime's little head. With a thought, the golden slime immediately turned back into a collar, wrapping around his wrist. The reason why he pulled it back was because he could sense the fatigue coming from a slime's heart. It seemed that the golden slime had just evolved successfully and was a little tired. It wanted to rest and sleep. Wait, the pearl of mountain and river seems to have evolved successfully. All of a sudden, Xia Ping felt that the pearl of mountain and river on him seemed to be brewing with a thick spatial aura and was growing stronger bit by bit. Chapter 1801. Master, it's a success. At this moment, the green ox's figure appeared in front of Xia Ping. At this moment, the green ox's figure was almost solid, as if it had a physical body. It emitted a powerful aura. Indistinctly, ancient green runes appeared on its body, as if they were supreme scriptures. Has the rainbow divine stone been digested? Xia Ping asked. Yes. The refining process was very smooth. After devouring the 7-colored divine stone, the bead of mountains and rivers has mostly recovered. Although it has yet to fully recover to its peak state, it already possesses the charm of a sacred artifact. The green ox was very excited. It felt that it had finally recovered the power of its peak. Whoosh! Immediately, a green bead appeared in front of Xia Ping. The bead spun in midair, and there seemed to be a chaotic vortex deep inside. It was unfathomable. Xia Ping reached out and felt that the pearl of mountain and river was indeed completely different from before. It emitted a rich spatial aura, as if it had merged with the surrounding void. However, it was unique and had its own system. Boom! He immediately sent his divine sense into it. With a dong, he suddenly realized that the space inside the pearl of mountain and river had undergone a tremendous change. First, the volume of the pearl of mountain and river had increased. It was more than 10,000 times larger than before, as if there was an extra piece of land out of thin air. The land area alone was equivalent to the size of a star field. Of course, most of the land area was barren. There were no plants or animals, but the land was extremely fertile. It was all condensed from the 9 heavens growing soil. As long as Xia Ping wanted to, he could turn the land into a world of plants at any time. Not bad. The land area has expanded. Xia Ping was very satisfied. This way, he could continue to expand the land area for crystal fragrant rice, golden corn, and other spiritual plants, as well as many spiritual herbs, to produce more spiritual herbs and spiritual grains. Even the barbaric dragon rabbits and dragon trees he caught could be used to expand the population. Secondly, the density of the spiritual chi in the pearl of mountain and river was more than 100 times stronger than before. It seemed to have recovered most of the functions of the pearl of mountain and river, and it also had the ability to communicate with dimensional spaces. He could feel that the pearl of mountain and river seemed to communicate with thousands of dimensional spaces, opening up spatial passageways. It absorbed energy from the depths of the void and poured it into the pearl of mountain and river, filling it with energy at all times. This also allowed the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers to maintain its peak state at all times. Of course, these were nothing. They were just minor details. What made Xia Ping the happiest was that the bead of mountains and rivers had healed most of its injuries, and it had finally condensed the 3rd array diagram, which was also the strongest array diagram of the bead of mountains and rivers. It could be said to be the core of the bead of mountains and rivers. This formation was called the Yellow River of 9 Bends. Back then, the mountain river saint had relied on this formation diagram to become invincible. Once the 9 Bends Yellow River diagram appeared, it immediately shocked the universe, causing countless saints to be fearful and wary. This formation contained the secrets of nature, the mechanisms of life and death, and the 9 palaces and 8 trigrams on the outside, advancing and retreating in an orderly manner. Within this formation were the 3 powers, the mysteries of heaven and earth. Within it was the immortal bewitching pill, the immortal seal mantra, the ability to lose the spirit of an immortal, the soul of an immortal, the form of an immortal, the aura of an immortal, the original form of an immortal, and the limbs of an immortal. When immortals enter this place, they become mortals, and when mortals enter this place, they die. Among the 9 tunes, none of them were straight. The tunes contained the wonders of creation and the secrets of immortals. No matter what kind of saint he was, he would not be able to escape from this. Boom! Thinking of this, Xiaoping immediately activated his spiritual power and poured it into the depths of the mountain river pearl. Immediately, the third formation diagram, the Yellow River of 9 Bends Yellow River diagram appeared. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One after another, the yellow rivers stretched across the void, with 9 bends and 18 bends. They were arranged according to the positions of the 9 palaces in 8 trigrams in an orderly manner, enveloping the void and containing the power of the 3 powers. When this formation diagram was formed, it covered the sky and the sun, enveloping the void. Xiaoping could feel how terrifying this formation diagram was. Once an enemy entered it, it would be like entering a maze. The formation would change at any time, and the enemy would not be able to escape from it at all. Moreover, the yellow rivers were filled with a terrifying corrosive aura. If one stayed in this formation for too long, one would be contaminated by the aura of the yellow springs. Their primordial spirit would weaken, and they would die from the decay of the heavens. What a powerful formation diagram! Xiaoping was shocked. He felt that this formation diagram was extremely mysterious, as if it was a connate formation. It contained the mysteries of heaven and earth and the changes of the universe. It was unfathomable, chaotic, and ancient. Master, the green ox sighed emotionally. Actually, when old Master refined this pearl of mountains and rivers back then, he once said that the pearl of mountains and rivers had not been completely refined. The final 9 bends yellow river diagram still lacks some materials before it could be considered completely refined. If old Master had completely refined the pearl of mountains and rivers back then, he might not have died. What materials are you lacking? Xiaoping asked curiously. Yellow springs, river water. The green ox looked at Xiaoping and said in a deep voice, only when the yellow springs river water from the depths of hell fuses with the yellow river diagram can this formation diagram be considered to be successfully condensed. It contains the power of the yellow springs of hell. Countless yellow springs river water will erupt and instantly send saints to reincarnation. After thousands of cleanses, they will completely become mortals and be invincible. It was extremely yearning. It's a pity that the Yellow Springs river water is too difficult to find. In fact, old Master couldn't even find where hell is back then. The green ox said helplessly, expressing that even the cleverest housewife could not cook without rice. Yellow Springs river water. Upon hearing these words, Xiaoping's eyes lit up. Although the mountain river saint did not find the Yellow Springs river back then and did not find the location of hell, he found it now. If he entered the depths of hell and found the Yellow Springs river that traversed the void and passed through hell, he would definitely be able to increase the power of the mountain river pearl to an unprecedented realm. Even if it was upgraded to a peerless sage artifact and its power increased by hundreds of times, it would not be a big problem. However, even if he did not obtain the Yellow Springs river water now, with just this formation diagram, Xiaoping would be invincible. He could even challenge those of a higher realm and completely suppress thunder tribulation eminences. Aha, Xiaoping, I succeeded too. At this moment, Corinne's voice also sounded. It was full of energy and was extremely excited. Succeeded? What does that mean? Could it be that the stars has been repaired? Xiaoping was a little surprised. Yes, it's been successfully repaired. The stars has now been restored to its peak. Corinne appeared, looking pleased with himself. At this moment, his figure was also not ordinary. It seemed to have condensed and had a physical body. His body emitted specks of starlight, and the depths of his body contained majestic astral energy. Although Corinne was an intelligent brain, he was also considered the star's artifact spirit. Chapter 1802. Didn't you say it would take a few more months? Xiaoping asked. I thought so at first, but those materials are too useful, and I also obtained a large number of space stones. At the same time, my inspiration multiplied, and my maintenance ability improved qualitatively, thus speeding up the repair speed. Corinne was proud, indicating that it was all thanks to him. Where's the stars? Xiaoping could not wait to see what the repaired stars would look like. After all, it would be his ride in the future. It's here. Corinne waved his hand, and a black spaceship immediately appeared in front of Xiaoping. It was streamlined and had a very sci-fi appearance, emitting an inexplicable sage aura. In fact, the stars have been built by sages with countless materials, and it could be considered a sage artifact. Xiaoping, this is the stars at its peak. Come and take a look. Corinne was very excited and immediately introduced the stars. First of all, the stars, which had been repaired, was more than 10 times faster than before. Once it started to move at full speed, even if an ordinary sage wanted to catch up, they would not be able to catch up. It surpassed the speed of light. Next, its defense ability had also been greatly improved. Some of the holes on the spaceship were also quickly repaired, reaching a perfect state. Even if it was attacked by an ordinary sage, it would not be able to damage the spaceship for a while. Amazing. Xiaoping was very satisfied. It could be said that the increased speed and defense of the spaceship alone were completely worth the precious materials he had used. With the spaceship, as long as he did not offend too terrifying an enemy, he would be able to do whatever he wanted. Of course, this is just some insignificant abilities of the stars at its peak. The reason why this spaceship is so powerful and is regarded as a treasure by the Old Master is mainly because it has two abilities. Corinne stretched out 2 fingers. Xiaoping blinked and listened attentively. The first is a life-saving ability. Corinne said in a deep voice, it can move hundreds of millions of light years away in an instant. Even a sage can't catch up. This is an extremely powerful life-saving ability. Keep bragging. If it's really so powerful, why did the star sages die? Green Ox said in disdain. Stupid cow. No one will think you're mute if you don't speak. Hearing these words, Corinne was so angry that he wanted to use a sewing machine to sew the Green Ox's mouth. He gritted his teeth and said, the reason why Old Master died is because this ability has a huge shortcoming. After using it once, it will take at least 1,000 years to recover. Back then, in order to avoid being hunted down, Old Master had already used this ability once, and it hasn't been used a second time in the past 1,000 years. But now that the enemy is here again, they won't be able to escape. I see. Xiaoping came to a sudden realization. This was indeed a weakness, but it was not a huge one. It was already quite good to have such a life-saving ability. Even if he needed a lot of time to recover, it was worth it. The second is the ability to attack. Corinne continued to introduce the myriad stars. All the cannon muzzles on the myriad stars, as well as the attack system, have been repaired. These cannon muzzles are the myriad stars' sect's famous starlight cannon. There were tens of thousands of these starlight cannons on the multi-star. If they were fired at the same time, thousands of starlight cannons could blast out and destroy countless planets in an instant. Of course, the starlight cannon also has its drawbacks. That is, it consumes star energy. Once it's depleted, it will take a long time to replenish. Starlight cannon. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He had been looking forward to the weapon system on a myriad stars for a long time, and now he finally got Corinne to repair the starlight cannons. He reckoned that in the future, just by relying on this spaceship, his firepower would be equivalent to a fleet. It needs to consume energy again. It seems that it's a big energy consumer. Without star energy, it's just a big coffin. The Green Ox despised, directly poking at Corinne's weak spot. Bullsh asterisk T, as if your mountain river pearl doesn't need to consume energy. Corinne exploded with anger. The myriad stars has a system that automatically absorbs star energy. Even if the energy stored in the spaceship is depleted, it can automatically recover after a period of time. Even if we can find a large number of star stones, we don't need to absorb the star energy in the depths of the void and can directly use it. In the end, it's still a waste of money. It's just a prodigal toy. The green ox despised. How can a broken spaceship compare to the mountain river pearl? This is a golden pheasant mother that can produce money. It's obviously more beneficial to the owner. Bulsh asterisk T. Corinne gritted his teeth. So what if it's a golden pheasant mother? What's the use in encountering danger? At critical moments, we still have to rely on the myriad stars. There's no need to worry even if we encounter a strong enemy. There's no need to rely on the myriad stars. The mountain river pearl is enough. With that broken toy, it's superfluous. The green ox was not to be outdone. Just like that, the two of them quarreled with each other, neither giving in to the other. In the end, it was Xiaoping who stopped the two of them. However, for him, having these two sage-level treasures was like adding wings to a tiger. No matter which one it was, it would be of great help to him. Whoosh! At that moment, a figure flickered and appeared in front of Xiaoping. It was a lowly in a black gothic costume. Luna. She blinked her big eyes. Master, hungry, Luna said to Xiaoping. Hungry? Xiaoping touched his chin. He could sense the desire in the depths of Luna's heart. It was not hunger, but the hunger in the depths of her heart. This was the desire to develop dependence in her body. In fact, this was the deepest expression of the genes in the body of a zombie beast. It would instinctively expand its population and enhance its strength. This was like the insect queen, but because of Xiaoping's suppression, she also suppressed her instinct. But now, she was a little unable to suppress it, so she took the initiative to come out. This is also good. I should have found a lot of Yin-Huang planet martial artists now. You can turn them into your dependents. Xiaoping said to Luna, and then he immediately went back to inform his father to gather many human martial artists who wanted to become stronger. All of them gathered on Yin-Huang planet. A few days later, Luna had developed at least 50 million dependents, turning this group of Yin-Huang planet humans into creatures with a bloodline of zombie beasts. Their bodies contained a strong will to devour. They could even become stronger by eating food that contained energy. Of course, if this group of people became stronger, Luna would also become stronger. This was a race like a whole. These human kings were also sent out to the universe by Xiaoping to train in the universe. He believed that as long as they did not die, they could grow up quickly, and their cultivation would also advance by leaps and bounds. He was afraid that after a period of time, he would have a terrifying army in his hands. At the same time, taking advantage of these few days, Xiaoping also went to the vicinity of the storm forbidden zone and used an array to temporarily cover up the safe space passage. He believed that in the future, no one could pass through that passage except for himself. In this way, Yin-Huang planet would be much safer. Beep. Chapter 1803. A few days later, on a primitive planet in the southern universe, numerous stars slowly landed on the planet, and Tu Linglong and Green Luan happened to be waiting for Xiaoping on the planet. There's a palace here. It seems quite extraordinary. Xiaoping walked out of stars and looked up. He immediately saw a majestic and ancient palace in front of him, exuding an unfathomable aura of vicissitudes and holiness. He could tell at a glance that the palace was not simple, and it appeared on such an ordinary planet. No matter how he looked at it, it was very unusual. The reason why he came to this place was that Tu Linglong and Qing Luan invited him to discuss something in detail, but they could not talk face to face through the communicator, lest the walls were eavesdropping. Therefore, Xiaoping drove the spaceship directly to the southern universe, where Tu Linglong and the others were. Of course, it's extraordinary. This is the famous monster temple of our demon race. Bumpkin, you've learned something new. Tu Linglong proudly introduced with her hands on her hips. Oh, why would the monster temple appear in this place? Xiaoping asked curiously. It's just a random appearance. Qing Luan explained. The whereabouts of the monster temple are not fixed. It will appear in various places in the universe at any time according to its mood. This is just a place where the monster temple is temporarily staying. It will leave this place after a while. I see. Xiaoping nodded, indicating that he understood. It turned out that it was just a temporary place to stay. He looked at Qing Luan and Tu Linglong and went straight to the point. Hearing that you two are in such a hurry, I wonder what you two are looking for me for. Do you know that I'm usually very busy? If you don't have anything important to look for me, I'm afraid you'll have to compensate me. Compensate my ass. Shameless. Tu Linglong said disdainfully. What else do you have to do? You're just a bully and cause trouble everywhere. You're exactly the kind of person that people like you are. You still have a nerve to say that you're very busy and like a president. Do you still have any shame, Xiaoping? This is the attitude you have when you're asking for help. It seems that you don't want me to help you. Xiaoping looked at Tu Linglong with a smile. You. Hearing this, Tu Linglong was furious. She was once again caught by this bastard, now that she was asking for help. How could she still be arrogant? What's wrong? Don't you need to apologize for saying something wrong? How can the mighty saintess of the rabbit race be so unreasonable? Xiaoping was insatiable. Seeing Xiaoping's complacent expression, Tu Linglong was so angry that she wanted to bite him to death. How could there be such a bad human in this world? His skin was even thicker than the city walls. However, she still endured it because she really needed Xiaoping's help. She gritted her teeth and said, I was a little loud and a little impulsive just now. I'm really sorry. These words were basically squeezed out from the gaps between her teeth. Ahem. All right, enough with the idle chatter. Let's get down to business. Qing Wan coughed and changed the topic calmly. Actually, we invited you here because of a dangerous task given to us by the Demon Divine Temple recently. I'm afraid we need your help with this task. It's a mission from the Demon Saint Hall. Can outsiders help us? Xiaoping asked curiously. Of course, not every task will work. Only a few of them will. After all, sometimes networking and friendship are also a kind of power. This is also one of the tests of the Demon Temple. Qing Wan said. Well, what exactly is the task? Xiaoping looked at Qing Wan. Qing Wan said seriously. Have you heard of the black hole worm? Black hole worm. Hearing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He had read many secret histories of the universe and illustrations of various fierce beasts. Naturally, he had heard of the 3 words, black hole worm. You're talking about the legendary primordial alien worm, the black hole worm. It is said that they are naturally proficient in the law of space and feed on space energy. They often dig space passages and survive in the void. Xiaoping said in a deep voice, in the primordial era, the black hole worm was refined by many powerful people and kept as pets. They continuously opened stable space passages, connecting different parts of the universe, as well as planetary passages and even to dimensional spaces. To be honest, when he knew about the existence of the black hole worm, he also wanted to refine a black hole worm and make it his own pet because it was really useful. Once he had a black hole worm, he could build stable space passages, which would be of great benefit to the development of various major regions. It was simply too close, but still world apart. After all, the universe was too vast and boundless. Who knew how long it would take to travel from one star field to another? But if he could open up a stable wormhole, it would be completely different. He could completely use this space passage to reach another star field in the shortest distance, saving a lot of time. It could be said that having a black hole worm was equivalent to having a huge amount of wealth. He could open up a rich space passage, and just controlling a space passage would allow him to obtain a huge amount of wealth. Unfortunately, in the primordial era, these primordial alien worms that ran amok in the universe were hunted and killed indiscriminately by countless powerful people, thus becoming extinct. Until today, they had long disappeared, becoming one of the countless species that had disappeared in the universe. Of course, the reason why Xiaoping wanted to obtain the black hole worm was not to open up a space passage and earn a lot of wealth. He wanted to open up a space passage between Hell and the Gaia dimension, creating an eternal tunnel that would allow him to enter the Hell dimension at any time. This way, he could continuously hunt Hell creatures and obtain a large amount of soul energy. That's right, the primordial alien worm, the black hole worm. The green one nodded. There are many space passages in the universe, and they were all excavated by the black hole worm in the primordial era. They have become the main transportation channels connecting the major star fields. Although space passages also appear in the universe from time to time, the problem is that these space passages are too unstable and can collapse at any time. They are extremely dangerous, and if you're not careful, you might be swept into spatial turbulence and die without a complete corpse. That's why the black hole worm's ability is so precious, and it's fought over by countless powerful people. It has become a truly rare creature. You suddenly mentioned the black hole worm. Could it be that your mission is closely related to the black hole worm? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. It's not as simple as closely related. It's directly related. Our mission is to capture a black hole worm and form a contract with it. The Green Lawn explained the contents of her mission. Wait, didn't the black hole worm go extinct in the primordial era? How are you going to form a contract with it? Chapter 1804. Of course not. If the black hole worm is really extinct, the Demon Saint Temple wouldn't have issued this mission because it's impossible to complete. If that's the case, then where are the black hole worms? Xiaoping asked immediately. They don't live in an ordinary universe, but in the demon realm. Qingluan said in a deep voice. Demon realm? Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. This was the first time he had heard of this term. This is actually not a secret. If you ask around a little, you will also know about the existence of the demon realm. The Green Phoenix continued. The so-called demon realm is a huge dimensional world created by many demon sages. They extracted many dimensional spaces and used supreme secret techniques to fuse these dimensional worlds together, causing the area of this world to be extremely vast, boundless, and rich in materials. Many descendants of the demon royal family live in the demon realm, which is the true base camp of the demon race. In fact, it's not just the demon race that has such a dimensional world. Other races also have it, such as the dragon realm where the dragon race lives, the Qilin realm where the Qilin race lives, the Taodai realm where the Taodai race lives, the giant realm where the giant race lives, the Phoenix realm where the Phoenix race lives, and so on. They're all famous dimensional worlds. At this point, she paused and looked at Xiaoping. This time, the Demon Saint Temple sensed that a black hole worm is about to appear in the demon realm. That's why they issued this mission. They want us to go to the demon realm and contract a black hole worm. But once the black hole worm appears, it will definitely attract countless old monsters. Once they make a move, we won't have any hope, so we have to find outside help. She knew what had happened to Xiaoping recently. He was a returning Truth Realm Almighty with unparalleled battle power and all kinds of secret treasures to protect himself. Even Transcendence Realm Almighties were not his match. So, this was a powerful outside help. There was hope that they could snatch the black hole worm from the crowd. That's true, but I also want the black hole worm. Xiaoping said his idea. This is not a big problem. There might be more than 1 or 2 black hole worms appearing this time. There will be a large number of them. The Green Lawn said, 2 Linglong and I only need 1 black hole worm each. If we can get more, then they'll all belong to you. She looked at Xiaoping and stated her condition. All right, I agree to this condition. Where's the demon realm? How do I get in? Xiaoping immediately agreed. After all, if it wasn't for Qingluan and Tu Linglong leading the way and providing information, he probably wouldn't have known about the birth of the black hole worm. If he could obtain extra black hole worms, it wouldn't be a problem to split 1 or 2 of them. That's good. Hearing Xiaoping's agreement, Green Phoenix smiled slightly. It's very difficult for ordinary people to enter the demon realm. After all, the entire demon realm is guarded by the demon saint. It's almost impossible for ordinary people to sneak in. Moreover, the spatial coordinates of the demon realm are constantly changing. But it's different with the demon temple. It can break through the defense of the demon realm silently and accurately lock onto the position of the demon realm. It can teleport us into the demon realm. After completing the task, we can teleport back immediately. It's very convenient. I see. When are we leaving? Xiaoping asked. We'll rest for 2 hours before we set off. We've already wasted too much time waiting for you to arrive. It won't be long before the black hole worm emerges, so we can't waste any more time here. The Green Phoenix said seriously. No problem at all. I've already made preparations and can set off at any time. Xiaoping said. 2 hours later, Tu Linglong and Green Phoenix were already prepared. Both of them formed seals with their hands, seemingly communicating with the demon temple. Dong! Immediately, the entire demon saint temple trembled, and ancient restrictive formations appeared one after another. An enormous and unmatched energy instantly enveloped Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and Qing Wan. The next second, this ball of green energy enveloped the three of them. It immediately broke through space and turned into an energy ball. It was unknown how many layers of dimensional spaces had been broken in it. Xiaoping could see the huge dimensional spaces that he had passed through appearing in front of him like flashing lights. They were constantly flashing, just like looking at flowers on horseback. Boom! After an unknown amount of time, Xiaoping's body shook. He immediately saw that he was approaching a huge eggshell made of energy. This was a huge dimensional world. The surroundings of this dimensional world seemed to be filled with densely packed restrictive arrays, which produced chains of order one after another. It seemed that if any enemy dared to approach it, they would immediately be struck by lightning. Whoosh! However, this ball of green energy completely ignored the defenses of this dimensional world. It was as if it had the same source of energy. It easily penetrated the barrier of this world. Soon, the three of them appeared in this world and stood on a piece of land. This is the demon realm. Xiaoping was very shocked. Although he could be considered to be experienced and knowledgeable, and had entered many secret realms in the past, he had never seen such a vast world. It was boundless, and the mountains and rivers were magnificent and beautiful. At first glance, many mountains rose from the ground and pierced into the sky. The mountain range stretched endlessly. It was impossible to see the end of the mountain range. In the sky, there were 3 golden suns, forming the 3 Greats formation. A huge amount of heat descended from the void, bestowing a huge amount of heat energy, making this world full of vitality. This is comfortable. Xiaoping stood where he was, accepting the heat energy one after another. He felt his body warm. The energy of the sun was also very beneficial to him. It seemed that under such a sun, the golden crow of hell bloodline in his body was excited and excited. Such dense spiritual qi. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. He sensed that the spiritual qi in the demon realm was extremely dense. It was at least 10 to 100 times denser than other places. It was filled with rich life energy. With every breath, he felt his magic power grow and his lifespan increase. Because the energy in this world was too dense, it caused the plants in this world to be extremely tall. Even the weeds would be dozens of feet tall. When people walked on the grassland, they couldn't see far at all. They would be drowned in the weeds, like ants walking on the ground. There was no need to mention the trees. There were many that were hundreds of feet tall. Some giant trees were even as tall as a mountain. Or rather, they were trees themselves. They were incomparably majestic. When Xiaoping came to this place, he immediately felt that he was boundlessly small. He was a dwarf in a country of giants. But thinking about it, this was very normal. After all, there were countless races in the demon race. Most of them were extremely tall, far exceeding humans. Some were even as tall as a small mountain. When they walked, the sky and earth shook. Chapter 1805. Be careful. At this time, Qing Wan's expression was very solemn. This is the chaotic plane. Many bandits and monsters gather here. If you encounter them, you might be killed and robbed. She looked around vigilantly, as if to detect if there were enemies around. She and Tu Linglong had entered the demon realm several times for the demon temple's missions, so they were very familiar with this place. They knew which places were dangerous and which were safe. There are bandits? It seems that the demon realm is not very peaceful. There are wars everywhere. Xiaoping's eyes flashed. That's to be expected. Qing Wan said in a deep voice, the human race is only one race, but it will also be divided into countless countries. There are also countless forces in the countries with different standpoints and conflicts, even wars. The demon realm, to put it nicely, is the holy land of countless demon clans, but in fact, it is a hodgepodge of countless races. There are so many conflicts within a single race, and this place is filled with races, so the conflicts are even more numerous. Be specific. Xiaoping wanted to know more about the specific situation of the demon realm. The demon realm is vast and boundless, even larger than tens of thousands of star fields in the outside world. However, although the area is vast, there are also many demons. They occupy most of the fertile land and most of the resources. Qing Wan said, "In this world, demons use cities as their main units. A city is equivalent to a human country, and there are often wars between cities for resources, revenge, and so on. These demon cities are occupied by a single race, and there are also several races occupying them together. In short, it is like the warring states period of the human race. No one is willing to submit to anyone, and there is no common demon lord yet." "I see." Xiaoping nodded, indicating that he understood. "But this has nothing to do with entering the demon realm, and we don't want to get involved in these complicated forces. Our main goal is to get the black hole worm, and once we refine it, we will immediately leave the demon realm." Qing Wan continued, "For now, we don't know the specific location of the black hole worm, so we need to go to the nearby Jadeite city to inquire about the birth of the black hole worm. Once the black hole worm appears, the demons will be in an uproar, and the demon realm will be shaken. I think Jadeite City will be the first demon city to receive the news, and we can take the initiative to find the black hole worm." She revealed her plan and wanted to go to Jadeite City to wait for the birth of the black hole worm. "To the Jadeite City? We are unregistered residents of this world. If we enter the city, will there be any problems? Will our identities be checked?" Xiaoping was worried about this. Qing Wan waved her hand. "You don't have to worry about this. The demon realm is different from the human world. The time and place of birth are different. It is extremely difficult and complicated to know the identity of each demon. Therefore, in the world of demons, there was no such thing as identity registration. All demons were unregistered residents. As long as one did not expose their human identity, there would be no problem. After all, this is the demon realm, the world of the demon clan. Humans don't exist here. To them, you're a rare animal. Once you're exposed, I'm afraid you'll become a public enemy." She wanted Xiaoping to change his identity and not expose his human identity. "This is simple." Xiaoping rubbed his chin and immediately used the faceless mask to change his appearance. First, his height increased by 10 or so centimeters, and his muscles became much stronger. Next, horns grew out of his head, and strange dark golden patterns appeared on his face. His appearance also changed, becoming incomparably handsome and bewitching, and his body emanated a dense aura of flames. "In the future, you will call me Master Wu of the Golden Crow clan. Don't call me by my original name, otherwise my identity will be exposed." Xiaoping smiled slightly and looked at Qing Wan and Tu Linglong. Qing Wan was dumbfounded. Although she asked Xiaoping to change his identity, she didn't expect it to be so thorough. Now he was completely and thoroughly a demon. Not only had his appearance changed, but even the aura on his body had changed. If she wasn't familiar with Xiaoping and had been standing beside him, she probably wouldn't have recognized that the current Master Wu and Xiaoping were the same person. It was really incredible. "Oh my God, Xiaoping, how can your transformation ability be so powerful? I can't find any flaws at all. How profound is your cultivation of this magical ability?" Tu Linglong exclaimed. "You're too polite. It's just a little bit of talent." Xiaoping said modestly. "A little bit of talent? I think it's purely because you, a bad guy, have done too many bad things. You were forced to cultivate this magical ability and habitually change your identity, for fear that others would find your original body and find trouble with you." Tu Linglong felt that according to this hateful human's proficient transformation, this human must have done similar things countless times. Otherwise, how could he be so proficient and not feel strange at all? She also remembered that this bad human had changed into someone else's appearance countless times and framed others. She didn't know how much trouble he had caused. To be honest, she felt that if Wu Wudi's identity was exposed, this bad human would definitely become the public enemy of the universe, and he would be chased no matter where he fled. "Meddlesome." Xiaoping's face darkened and reached out to hit Tu Linglong. "Ah." Tu Linglong was half dead with anger. She grimaced and covered her head that was hurting from being hit. She wanted to bite someone. Okay, don't bicker here. Let's hurry to Jadeite City. It's going to be dark soon, and we might encounter troublesome demons and bandits. Qing Luan stopped her. Haha, you want to go to Jadeite City? No need. You guys stay here obediently and accompany this king up the mountain. At this moment, a rampant voice sounded. A yellow demonic wind flew from afar at an extremely fast speed. It tore through the void and landed in front of Xiaoping and the others. Then, a 5-meter-tall weasel in yellow armor appeared in front of Xiaoping and the others. Its body exuded a violent demonic aura. It had the terrifying cultivation of the early-stage transcendence realm and had condensed the heaven and earth dharma. Behind it were hundreds of weasel minions. They were at least at the Golden Core realm, and all of them had towering demonic aura. They looked at Xiaoping and the others with covetous eyes, as though they were cats catching mice. Oh no! Seeing the appearance of these demons, Qing Luan and Tu Linglong knew that they had been targeted by these bandits and demons and were surrounded. Their hearts instantly sank. This yellow weasel was the famous demon king of the chaotic plains. He ruled over countless demons under him, and his strength was tyrannical. Chapter 1806. Haha. The Weasel King's luck is really too good. It was just a stroll, but I didn't expect to find two beautiful demon girls. One is from the rabbit race, and the other is from the winged race. I can't help but feel pity for them. They are very suitable to be my concubines for number 3888 and 3889. The Weasel King laughed heartily and looked at Tu Linglong and Qing Luan. His soybean-sized eyes revealed a greedy expression. He clearly fancied Tu Linglong and Qing Luan and wanted to capture them as his wives. Congratulations, Your Majesty. Congratulations, Your Majesty has taken in 2 more concubines. The magpies chirped this morning. That's why Your Majesty is so lucky. It's my honor. Such beautiful girls are a perfect match for Your Majesty. They're a match made in heaven. Many of the Weasel King's lackeys were flattering him. On the other hand, the Weasel King stroked his beard with a satisfied and proud look on his face. He had already regarded Qing Luan and Tu Linglong as his spoils of war. To be honest, he still couldn't see through Tu Linglong and Qing Luan's innate nature. He thought that they were just ordinary demons. If he knew that Qing Luan had the bloodline of a divine beast and Tu Linglong had the bloodline of a space-time rabbit, he would have gone even crazier. However, Tu Linglong and Qing Luan had cultivated the supreme technique of the demonic temple and had long concealed their bloodlines. Even a transcendence realm expert wouldn't be able to discover them. Little girls, consider yourself lucky today. Our Majesty has taken a liking to you two. Later, you two will follow us up the mountain. In the future, you'll be able to enjoy all the glory and wealth you want. A weasel demon jumped out, looking very arrogant. Scram! Who would want to go up the mountain with you weasels? Tu Linglong was very angry and glared at the group of weasels. What? Little rabbit demon, you don't want to give me face? You refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit? Do you know that you have to agree, even if you don't want to? Do you think we're discussing with you? No, this is an order. The weasel demon's expression changed, and he shouted as if he was infuriated. Hearing these words, the Yellow Weasel King was also very displeased. What kind of status did it have? It was a transcendence realm expert, an existence that could be considered a feudal lord in the demon realm, with billions of subordinates. It was only because it wasn't willing to be restricted that it became a bandit. If not, it could just casually enter any demon city and obtain the position of an elder. Its authority would be able to overturn the world. But now, there was actually a little demon who dared to reject him. She didn't want to become his 3,888th concubine, and she even put on an attitude in front of him. How preposterous! Everyone. At this time, Xiaoping stood up and said, I am the Golden Crow clan's Marshal Supreme. Can you give me some face? Don't make things difficult for my 2 concubines. Otherwise, the scene will be very ugly, which is not good for anyone. Hearing this, Tu Linglong and Qing Luan's pretty faces turned red, and they fiercely glared at Xiaoping. This bastard human is taking advantage of the situation to take advantage of the two of us. Give you face. Who the F asterisk CK do you think you are? You're just a tramp. I don't know where this little demon came from, but you want the great king to give you face? Have you lost your mind? A yellow weasel demon scolded. He felt that this little demon dared to say such words and still wanted them to give him face. This was the greatest insult to the great king. Great king, I will kill him now, lest he dirties your eyes. A few of the yellow weasel king's subordinates were ready to make a move, wanting to kill Xiaoping. Don't be anxious. The yellow weasel king waved his hand, stopping his subordinates from making a move. A glimmer of light appeared in his eyes as he stared at Xiaoping. Golden Crow Clan? A legendary clan that once appeared in the primordial era. You are actually a descendant of the Golden Crow Clan? Is this true? Didn't you say that they were already extinct? Of course it's true. I have awakened the Golden Crow bloodline, and I am a peerless genius. In the future, I will definitely become a leading figure in the martial Dao, an invincible existence like a demonic sage. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and said proudly, Of course, I have not grown up yet. I am still a rookie, but becoming a sage is something that will happen sooner or later. If you give me face now, I will definitely remember it in my heart. In the future, when I become a sage, all of you will benefit. You will have the opportunity to work under me and serve me. He drew a big pie for this group of yellow weasels. Hearing this, the group of yellow weasels were dumbfounded. Even if they were beaten to death, they had never heard such arrogant words. They had never seen such an arrogant little demon. He was clearly a rookie, but his tone was boundless. He actually wanted to become a demonic sage in the future and wanted to recruit them to work for him. My God, what was wrong with the young demons nowadays? They didn't have much ability, but their tone was boundless. They didn't have any self-awareness at all and didn't know how much they were worth. Interesting. I have never seen such an arrogant little demon like you before. I don't know where your confidence comes from. The yellow weasel king's eyes revealed a hint of coldness. But I don't care whether what you said is true or not. If what you said is true, then it couldn't be better. After I eat you and refine the Golden Crow bloodline in your body, then wouldn't I, the yellow weasel king, be able to reach the heavens in a single step? I might even become a demonic sage. It's a pity that you don't know this, thinking that you can rely on your bloodline to do whatever you want. You don't know that you are a lamb that has entered the tiger's mouth. Do you know that? As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately made his move. A ball of primordial spirit emerged from his body and condensed into a heaven and earth Dharma idol. The energy within thousands of kilometers gathered together and bombarded towards Xiaoping. He was incomparably ferocious. He wanted to kill Xiaoping in an instant to prevent any accidents from happening. After being a bandit for so long, he naturally knew that even a lion would use its full strength to hunt a rabbit. He would not give his enemy any chance. Sigh, I gave you face, but you didn't take it. I gave you a chance to live, but you didn't cherish it. Why bother? Xiaoping shook his head and sighed. He didn't even look at the yellow weasel king. He took a step forward and punched. Immediately, the 9 primordial spirits in his body vibrated. Violent magical power gushed out from the depths of the purple palace and gathered in the depths of his fist. It kept brewing and instantly exploded. Dong! This punch fiercely hit the yellow weasel king's body. It produced a terrifying destructive power that shook the sky and the earth. Stars fell from the sky, the earth trembled, and the void shattered. Ah! The yellow weasel king suddenly let out a miserable scream. There was a look of horror in the depths of his eyes. He couldn't withstand such a terrifying power at all. He watched helplessly as his armor, his body, his primordial spirit crumbled bit by bit. No! He screamed. In the next second, his entire body, including his primordial spirit, was shaken into nothingness. He even punched out with his fist. In the distance, dozens of mountains that were tens of thousands of meters tall were flattened. Boulders shattered and collapsed on the spot. The fist punched out along the way, leaving a trail that was thousands of kilometers long. The surrounding area was filled with the smell of burning. In the sky, thousands of miles of clouds were blown away. It was as if the sky had been pierced. Chapter 1807. No, that's impossible. The great king is dead. He was killed by a single punch. Illusion. This must be an illusion. King is a transcendence realm expert, an existence that condensed the transcendence of heaven and earth. How can he be killed by one punch? I don't believe it. I don't believe such a ridiculous thing can happen in this world. Seeing this scene, all the weasels were dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded. Some of the weasels even shouted, not daring to believe what they were seeing. In their eyes, Xia Ping was just a little demon that had just come out. They could kill dozens of such trash with just a breath, let alone the king himself. There is no doubt that he would die. But what happened now? Not only did that little monster not die, but he even killed their king with one punch. He didn't even have a chance to struggle and directly turned into ashes. Such a cruel way of death caused them to shudder and their hair to stand on end. Too powerful. Qing Wan and Tu Linglong were also stunned. They had heard of Xia Ping's recent deeds, such as how he killed many experts. However, they thought that Xia Ping might have used the power of a magic treasure or used some kind of scheme. They didn't expect that he could kill a transcendence realm cultivator with one punch, just with the power of his divine power. He was simply too powerful. They were immediately full of confidence in their mission. With Xia Ping's help, they believed that it wasn't impossible to get the black hole worm. Okay, your king is dead. You all should go with him. A family should be united. Don't fall behind. Xia Ping looked at the group of weasels and said, Demon, this kid is a demon. Run, run quickly. Retreat, retreat quickly. Don't fight him head on. Hearing this, the weasels were so scared that they peed their pants. They didn't have the courage to fight Xia Ping at all. Even their king was killed with one punch. What could small characters like them do? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hundreds of weasels quickly retreated. They used their god arts and turned into yellow demonic winds, scattering in all directions. Their speed was almost at the peak of their lives. Although they weren't strong enough, their speed was still very fast. Roar! Xia Ping stood on the spot and used his martial god art, letting out a loud roar. Dragon race divine ability. 7 Fiend, true dragon roar. Immediately, there was a deafening sound in the air. It was as if a real dragon had descended, absorbing the endless evil chi in the depths of the void, gathering it together, and then instantly exploding. Bang, bang, bang. Before the hundreds of weasels could fly far, they were bombarded. Unable to withstand the power of the sound wave, they exploded. In midair, huge flowers of blood appeared and exploded like fireworks. Large amounts of blood poured down like raindrops, dyeing the ground red. The group of weasel demons was completely annihilated. Not a single one was spared. Whoosh! With a wave of his hand, Xia Ping immediately grabbed the space rings left behind by the weasels. The various treasures, pills, and spirit herbs on them all fell into his hands. These materials are very good. Scanning with his divine sense, he immediately discovered that these weasel space rings contained large amounts of ores and materials, and these materials seemed to be several times better than anything he had seen before. At the same time, these spirit herbs were also filled with medicinal power and spirituality. Their medicinal power was also 2 to 3 times stronger than ordinary spirit herbs. Master! At that moment, the green ox's voice resonated. These are all demon realm materials. They seem to have undergone the baptism of this world's countless spirit energies and the world's laws. They're more powerful than various materials in the universe. They could be used as the main materials for spirit weapons. Even the demon realm spirit herbs here are very unusual. They're very old and seem to have undergone mutation, causing their medicinal power to be very strong. If they were in the universe, I'm afraid these things would be auctioned for a sky-high price. There's such a thing? If I buy a large number of materials from the demon realm to build Cloud Continent and planet Yanhuang, wouldn't I be able to build many teleportation formations and a large number of treasures? Xia Ping thought about this. Of course, it's not a problem. I wonder how much these demon realm materials cost. The green ox said, Xiaoping, these materials are very good. We can let the stars devour them to improve the stars' defense. We should buy more of them. Corinne also had his eyes on these things. Xiaoping, let's go. The battle earlier seemed to have attracted the attention of many demon kings. If we don't leave now, I'm afraid we'll encounter countless demon kings. At that time, we'll be in trouble, the Blue Luan said to Xiaoping at this moment. Her divine bloodline could sense many dangers coming from afar. All right, let's go then. Xiaoping nodded and immediately flew away. 3 days later, Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and the Blue Luan left the Disarray Plains and finally arrived at Jadeite City. During these 3 days, there were many demons who tried to kill Xiaoping and the others to steal their treasures. However, they were all killed by Xiaoping. He completely shocked the demons, and even a few demon kings were killed. His actions also completely shocked many demons. They finally knew that there was one more ferocious person in the Disarray Plains. He was not someone they could provoke at all. After that, no demons dared to look for trouble with Xiaoping again. This is Jadeite City. Xiaoping fixed his eyes on it and discovered that this city was simply made of jade. It was completely amber in color, and it looked like it was formed by nature. Moreover, it was directly across the plains and was incomparably majestic. It was tens of thousands of feet tall and towered into the clouds. This was a vast and majestic city. Its city walls were like a mountain range that stretched for tens of millions of kilometers. It was endless, and there were terrifying restriction arrays on it that contained the might of thunder. If anyone dared to attack it, they would immediately be killed by the array. Moreover, Jadeite City seemed to be very prosperous. Apart from the 3 of them, there were also countless demons flying over. There were also all kinds of flying artifacts appearing, entering, and exiting the city. Around the city gate and in the sky above the city, there were many demon soldiers patrolling. They were dressed in armor and wielded spears. They looked ferocious and had a magnificent military appearance. No one dared to approach them. So many demons. Xiaoping looked around the city gate and realized that he actually couldn't recognize all the demons. Just the ones he knew were tree demons, grass demons, ox demons, goat demons, tiger demons, and so on. Apart from that, there were many unknown demons. There were no records of them in the Human Demon Encyclopedia. They could only be seen in the demon world. Let's go in. The Blue Luan and Tu Linglong were familiar with driving and had entered Jadeite City several times. They brought Xiaoping into Jadeite City. Chapter 1808. Upon entering Jadeite City, Xiaoping felt that the city was extremely huge, at least the size of Yanhuan Planet. This city was divided into 2 regions, the inner city and the outer city. The inner city was where the rulers of Jadeite City, the royal demons, lived. This was their base camp, and outsiders were not allowed to enter. It was an absolute forbidden area. Of course, the largest region was the outer city. This was the main trading area, and it was extremely prosperous. Streets after streets were crowded with countless demons trading and buying. All kinds of inns, hotels, restaurants, and so on also appeared here, and there were many shops. Of course, these inns and shops were not simple either. There seemed to be a spatial formation inside that could expand the space. It looked like a 3-story shop on the outside, but the inside was as vast as a plane. Let's find a place to stay and rest for a while, then wait for the black hole worm to come out, Green Phoenix said to Xiaoping. Then, under Green Phoenix's lead, they turned here and there and came to a remote alley. There was a shabby and like a haunted house, and it was about to close down. The owner of the hotel was an old rat demon. Boss, give me a room for three monsters, Tu Linglong said skillfully. The 3rd room from the left on the 3rd floor. Go up yourself. The rat demon did not even raise his head. He threw out a string of brass keys and let Xiaoping and the other 2 go up themselves. Soon, Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and Green Phoenix arrived at the inn room. This is where we're staying. Opening the door, Xiaoping's mouth twitched. He was speechless because this room was extremely small, at most 10 square meters. There was only one bed, and it was separated from the top, middle, and bottom, just enough for 3 people. Other than that, there was nothing else in this room. The most unacceptable thing was that the bedding on the bed was tattered and gave off a moldy smell. Who knew how long it had been since it was washed? Even the bed would creak with a gentle shake, as if it would fall apart at any time. Seeing Xia Ping's contemptuous look, Tu Linglong said angrily, "What are you looking at? It's good enough to have a room like this. Although it's a little shabby, it's cheap. It only costs 10 demon coins for a night. Yeah, we're only staying for a few days anyway. It's good enough to have shelter." Green Phoenix blushed. Alas, being poor is just being poor. Could it be that you're in the right? If you don't have money, you can ask me. I won't look down on you. After all, I'm a rich man with morals and conscience. I'm a professional. I won't casually laugh at the poor unless I can't help it. Xiaoping sighed. What kind of look is that? What kind of look is that? Hearing this, Tu Linglong immediately exploded. Do you think I'm really poor? If this was the universe, we would also have a lot of universe dollars on us and could stay in a luxurious hotel. But this is the demon realm. There is no circulation of universe coins, only demon coins. In this place, everything can only be bought with demon coins. We have just arrived here, so how will we have demon coins? She was so angry that she told him the reason for her embarrassment. After all, they had only come to the demon realm to complete a mission and had not stayed in this place for long, so it was very difficult for them to obtain demon coins. If they sold their magic treasures, they might be able to get a lot of demon coins. The problem was that these were their treasures. How could they sell them? As for some of the materials and elixirs obtained in the universe, they were not valuable at all in the demon realm, a place rich in materials. They could only exchange for a few demon coins, and the daily necessities of clothing, food, lodging, transportation, and some elixirs were all spent. This caused them to only be able to live in such a shabby hotel, which was extremely embarrassing. Earning demon coins is very difficult for you, but it's very simple for me. You have been in and out of the demon realm a few times. What do you think this place lacks the most? Or what is the most popular thing? Xiaoping asked. To be honest, after he came to the demon realm, he found that the various materials, elixirs, and elixirs in this world were very good. If he bought them back, he would definitely be able to make a lot of money. But before that, he still needed to get a lot of demon coins so that he could carry out the business. Food. After thinking about it, Green Phoenix looked at Xiaoping and said seriously, if there is anything that the demon realm lacks the most, it is nothing but food, especially food like spirit grains, which is extremely scarce and expensive. Eating here every day costs a lot of money, but the price of accommodation is very cheap. Why? The demon realm is so large. How can there be a shortage of food? Xiaoping asked. Although the demon realm is large, the area that can be planted with spirit grains is not much. Most of it is high mountains, deserts, valleys, and other areas with complex environments. Green Phoenix said, the most important thing is that the appetite of the monsters is too big, more than 100 times bigger than that of humans. For example, the pig clan can eat hundreds of kilograms a day to be satisfied, and the elephant clan monster eats a few tons of food a day. In addition, there are also many monsters with big appetites, such as the whale clan, tiger clan, and so on. In short, because of various reasons, the price of food in the demon realm is high. In the demon realm, I am afraid that eating a meal is an extremely extravagant thing. She was extremely emotional. Lack of food? Xiaoping touched his chin. Interesting. If that's the case, then wouldn't I be rich? To be honest, he was lacking in everything except food. Now in the space of the mountain river pearl, a large number of crystal fragrant rice, golden corn, and other food were produced almost every day. Even with Tao Tai helping to eat, most of the spirit grains were left in the warehouse, and no one ate them. Of course, because of the unique space of the mountain river pearl, these spirit grains could be stored almost permanently and would not be wasted because of deterioration. But with so much spirit grains left in the warehouse, and no one ate them, it was a waste. If these grains could be used to exchange for a large number of cheap materials, spirit herbs, and pills in the demon realm, it would undoubtedly be a very cost-effective deal. Green Phoenix, where can we trade food in this city? Xiaoping asked. There's a market in Jadeite City called Hailan Market. This is the largest market in Jadeite City. There are a large number of shops in it. If we sell food there, we can definitely sell it quickly, because food is the real hard currency in the demon realm. It is no exaggeration to say that more or less will be digested. Green Phoenix said the information she knew. Okay, then let's go to Hailan Market and earn demon coins. Xiaoping immediately let Green Phoenix and Tu Linglong set off. He did not want to continue to stay in this hotel that was about to go moldy. He came to the demon realm to seize treasures, not to come to this place to suffer. Okay. Chapter 1809. Hailan Bazaar. This place was bustling with demonic noises as demons came and went. Countless shops stood in great numbers as people rubbed shoulders against one another. There was an endless stream of carriages, and it was extremely lively. It was almost the most bustling place in Jadeite City. Basically, all the good stuff could be bought here. Many grain merchants. As Xiaoping walked over, he discovered that there were many grain shops along the way. Many demons entered the shops and bought all the grain the moment they entered. Some pig demons and elephant demons bought a few tons of grain in one go. They were very rich. It was no wonder the Green Phoenix said that the demon realm lacked food, especially high-grade food like spirit rice. I have to find a place to sell my food. Xiaoping walked on the streets as his eyes flickered. He was considering which grain shop he should enter and which shop would be able to buy the huge pile of food he had on him. Oh! Suddenly, Xiaoping came before a shop. The signboard had the words 1,000 Demon Pagoda written on it. The shop was huge and resplendent. It was the best among all the shops. Of course, that was not what he was concerned about. Instead, it was the sudden message from the 28 primordial sky dragon talismans in his body that caused him to palpitate. Could there be primordial sky dragon talismans in this 1,000 demon pagoda? Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He circulated his qigong to suppress the primordial sky dragon talismans in his body. He did not want the talisman aura to leak out and cause trouble. He knew that there were a total of 3,000 primordial sky dragon talismans. After the ancient war, these talismans were scattered across the universe. It was extremely difficult to gather them all. Even obtaining one was a huge, fortuitous encounter. However, he did not expect to sense the existence of other primordial sky dragon talismans in this place not long after he entered the demon realm. If he could obtain more of them, he would definitely be able to increase his strength once again. Hell Golden Crow Eye. At the thought of this, Xiaoping circulated the Hell Golden Crow Eye. Beams of light shot out from the depths of his pupils, penetrating the void and easily penetrating the countless restrictive arrays of the 1,000 demon pagoda. Immediately, he saw a peak Dharma realm demon cultivating deep in the 1,000 demon pagoda. There were a total of 18 primordial sky dragon talismans floating on his body. Vaguely, there were primordial sky dragons floating beside him, breathing out mist. They formed a cycle that constantly cleansed the impurities in his body and tempered his body. There are actually 18 primordial sky dragon talismans. If I can't obtain them, in addition to the 28 I have, I will have at least 46. My strength will definitely increase greatly. A glint flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. Every primordial heavenly dragon talisman he obtained could increase the might of the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. However, he still restrained his thoughts and didn't act rashly. Blue One. What do you think of the Myriad Demons Pavilion? Demon 1,000 Demon Hall. But before Blue One could say anything, Tu Linglong said, Myriad Demon Pavilion? Why are you asking about this scam shop? Don't ever go there. They specialize in scamming demons. Last time I went to the Myriad Demon Pavilion, they scammed me of many demon coins. Moreover, they looked down on me and bullied their customers. She was full of resentment, expressing that the 10,000 Demons Pavilion was extremely evil. Demon 1,000 Demon Hall is an extremely large organization in the demon realm. Demon. It said that every city in the demon realm has a branch. It's powerful and has countless treasures. It's not a force to be trifled with. However, this organization is a mixture of good and bad. They recruit all kinds of demons, creating a foul atmosphere. It's said that they kill people for their treasures. If you have treasures, don't go to this shop to sell, or you'll be asking for trouble. She had heard many rumors about people entering the 1,000 Demon Pagoda to sell their treasures. They never expected the price to be lowered. The demons of the 1,000 Demon Pagoda would fly into a rage out of humiliation and even secretly kill people for their treasures. It was definitely a scam. However, many demons were afraid of the 1,000 Demon Pagoda and did not dare to voice their anger. Scam? Scam? Good. I'll choose this shop. Upon hearing that, Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He was not afraid that it was a scam. It was easier to deal with a scam. It would be troublesome if it was a legitimate business. Bad human. What do you want to do? Your expression tells me that you want to cause trouble. Tu Linglong instinctively felt that Xia Ping was up to no good. Although he was not targeting her this time, she still felt goosebumps all over her body. Why would I? I'm just a good citizen, Xia Ping said carelessly, as if they would believe you. Tu Linglong and Blue Luan looked at Xia Ping with disdain. However, if Xia Ping was planning to deal with the 1,000 Demon Pagoda, they would agree with him. After all, they had been cheated by the 1,000 Demon Pagoda and hated it. Xia Ping ignored them and walked straight into the 10,000 Demon Pavilion. Immediately, he saw two tall and burly ox demons standing at the entrance. They held huge axes in their hands and looked menacing. They stood upright, as if they were guarding the entrance. Even under the blazing sun, the high temperature, and the scorching sun, he didn't seem to be moved at all. Brother, you're amazing, Xia Ping praised. Under such a big sun and the temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, you're still so awe-inspiring and don't move at all. What's supporting you to do this job? Is it responsibility, passion, or love? He was very impressed and felt that the two ox demons were role models for guards. Get lost. Hearing this, the ox demon spat and cursed, "Love my ass, it's poverty." Tu Linglong and Blue Luan immediately felt the same. Oh, Xia Ping responded, restrained his expression, walked past the guards, and walked straight into the shop. The two ox demons did not stop him. They were only there to protect the safety of the shop, not to stop customers from entering. As soon as he entered the shop, Xia Ping immediately sensed that the space of the shop had expanded by thousands of times. There was a space formation set up here that could greatly expand the interior space and accommodate countless items. There were also dazzling items around the shop, including pills, spiritual herbs, dharma treasures, and all kinds of rare materials. Even food could be bought and sold. It was like a supermarket. However, after he entered the shop for a while, no one served him. It seemed that all the employees had gone missing. What's going on? There are no employees in the 1,000 Demon Pagoda. Did someone die in your family? Xia Ping said in dissatisfaction. F***CK your death. Don't you know how to talk? Can't you see that I'm busy? Choose whatever you want and pay for it. Of course, don't go to the high-class area. You can't afford those things. Don't embarrass yourself there, understand? At this moment, a thievish-looking employee appeared. It was a rat demon. It looked at Xia Ping with an unfriendly expression, as if it was very unhappy with what he had just said. Chapter 1810. Can't afford it? How do you know we can't afford it? Xia Ping said. What's there to not know? This rabbit demon and this bird demon, they only bought something worth a few dozen demon coins last time, and they already made a big fuss here. They insisted that we cheated them of 10 demon coins, making it known to all the demons. If these demons aren't poor, what are they? How can they afford to buy high-grade goods? The shop assistant rat demon looked at Tu Linglong and Qing Luan with disdain. It seems that you're all famous in the Myriad Demon Pavilion, Xia Ping said in surprise. It's none of your business. Tu Linglong was so embarrassed that she could die. She couldn't help but pinch Xia Ping. This bastard touched my sore spot. Well, actually we're not here to buy things, but to sell things. I wonder if you will accept it? Xia Ping said to the shop assistant rat demon. Sell things. Hearing this, the shop assistant rat demon's eyes lit up. Of course we will, but we won't accept things that are not good. After all, the Myriad Demon Pavilion is not a small shop on the street, but a brand. Of course it is good stuff. I have a bag of spirit rice with me. How much is it worth? Xiaoping took out a bag of crystal fragrant rice, which weighed about half a caddy. What? The shop assistant, Rat Demon, opened it and had a look. His eyes almost popped out. He couldn't help but think that this was the famous fragrant crystal rice. Even among all the spirit rice, it was the best. Every grain of rice contained a large amount of energy. Many royal demons wanted to eat crystal fragrant rice, but not every meal. This was not a problem of price, but there was no crystal fragrant rice. After all, the environment for crystal fragrant rice was too harsh. It needed superior spirit fields and special people to serve it. If they were not careful, it would go extinct. All these factors combined led to the high price of crystal fragrant rice. A caddy of crystal fragrant rice was worth 100,000 demon coins. However, he quickly restrained his expression and said casually, ordinary spirit rice, the quality is not good. A bag of this kind of spirit rice is 100 demon coins. If you want to sell it, we will accept it. If not, then forget it. He ruthlessly lowered the price, making the crystal fragrant rice worthless. Sure enough, a big shop is bullying customers. Hearing this, Xiaoping immediately laughed. I've long heard that the 10,000 demon pavilion is very black-hearted, but I didn't expect it to be so black-hearted. You want to buy my spirit rice with just 100 demon coins? Do you really think I'm a fool? Since you don't have any sincerity, then forget it. I'll go sell it somewhere else. Someone will definitely want it. You want to leave? You stole the spirit rice from my store, and you still want to leave? You have guts. Do you think that there are no demons in the myriad demon pavilion? The shop assistant, Rat Demon, sneered, and his eyes revealed a cruel look. It directly framed Xiaoping, saying that he stole half a kilogram of spirit rice from the store. Obviously, it didn't just want to lower the price, it also wanted to steal all of the spirit rice. It wanted to murder him for money. Bullshit. Who stole your store's spirit rice? We didn't even get close to your goods. Tu Linglong was infuriated. She knew that the myriad demon pavilion was black-hearted, but she didn't expect it to be so black-hearted. They even brazenly framed her. They were simply lawless and arrogant. Which thief isn't like that? Do you think I'll believe you just because you're making excuses? Did you steal something from our store? Wait till I capture you and torture you. Then you'll confess. Guards, capture these 3 thieves alive and throw them into prison. The Rat Demon sneered and ordered the guards in the store to capture Xiaoping and the others. There are still people who dare to steal from the myriad demon pavilion. They're too bold. They're simply courting death. 3 thieves surrender immediately. Die. Suddenly, more than a dozen demon guards attacked from all directions. They were holding Wolf Fong gang weapons, broadswords, and other weapons. They were ferocious like hungry wolves and pounced over. Dong! Before these demon guards got close, Xiaoping circulated his qigong and produced a terrifying aura from his body. It crushed towards the group of guards like a mountain. More than a dozen demon guards and the Rat Demon shop assistant couldn't withstand such an attack. They were sent flying, screaming, and coughing up blood in the air. When they fell to the ground, they were already screaming and couldn't struggle anymore. They were seriously injured on the spot. I gave you face, but you still want to ask the demons to capture me. You're quite bold. Do you know how to write the word death? Xiaoping stepped on the head of the Rat Demon shop assistant. He looked down and trampled on the shop assistant's head fiercely. He kept rubbing the shop assistant's head, causing a large amount of blood to seep out. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Someone came to the myriad demon pavilion to make trouble. They're robbing us. The Rat Demon shop assistant was extremely frightened. He was trembling all over and shouted crazily. He immediately triggered the alarm of the myriad demon pavilion, indicating that an enemy had invaded the myriad demon pavilion and was making trouble here. Buzz! All of a sudden, the entire alarm alerted the entire myriad demon pavilion. Countless shop assistants, managers, and even the pavilion master of the Jadeite city were alarmed. This was because someone had invaded the myriad demon pavilion and tried to rob it. It was simply unprecedented. Since the opening of the Jadeite city shop, something like this had never happened before. This time, the alarm was simply earth-shattering. Whoosh! Whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, hundreds and thousands of myriad demon pavilion demons swarmed out from all directions. They rapidly gathered in the main hall of the myriad demon pavilion and surrounded Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and Xingluan. Even the pavilion master, Black Zephyr, awakened from his seclusion. He traversed the void and arrived at the scene of the incident with a single step. He looked down from above and emitted a ferocious aura that made one shudder. There's indeed a primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and sensed the existence of the primordial heavenly dragon talisman in Black Zephyr's body. Although the other party tried his best to conceal it, he could not hide it from his hell golden crow eye. His plan to lure the snake out of its hole was very successful. He had finally lured Black Zephyr out. What kind of demon are you? You sure have guts to cause trouble in the Myriad Demon Pavilion. Have you thought of how you're going to die? The Myriad Demon Pavilion manager bellowed angrily and glared at Xiaoping. Cause trouble? Who's the one causing trouble? Xiaoping gave him a sidelong glance. I only came to the Myriad Demon Pavilion to sell spirit rice, but this shop assistant was rude and tried to steal my treasures. He accused me of stealing spirit rice and even sent guards to arrest me. If I don't resist, am I supposed to wait for death? I've heard that the Myriad Demon Pavilion has a bad reputation. I thought it was an exaggeration, but I didn't expect it to be true. It's a completely unscrupulous shop. I won't buy anything here in the future. Upon hearing that, many demons from the Myriad Demon Pavilion had sullen expressions. They felt that it was a slap to their faces. That was because such things happen from time to time. However, most of them were small demons who could not resist and could only swallow their anger. But it was different now. The demon in front of them was clearly not ordinary and was not to be trifled with. Selling spirit rice? What kind of spirit rice is it? Black Zephyr asked. Crystal fragrant rice. Chapter 1811. Crystal fragrant rice. And a ton at that. Many monsters from the Myriad Demon Pavilion held their breaths, and their eyes lit up. Big business. There was no doubt that this was a big business worth hundreds of millions of demon coins. Even in the Myriad Demon Pavilion, it was not to be underestimated. Many of the managers glared at the half-dead shop assistant, the rat demon. If it wasn't for this guy messing around, they wouldn't have offended such a big customer. Feeling the stares, the rat demon trembled and regretted it so much that its intestines turned green. If it knew that this kid was a big customer, it wouldn't have dared to cheat people. It would have been fawning over him. A ton of crystal fragrant rice? Very good. You can sell it to the Myriad Demon Pavilion. I guarantee that we will give you a reasonable price. No one will dare to cheat you. Black Zephyr said, Forget it. I can't afford to serve the Myriad Demon Pavilion anymore. I'll go to other places. Goodbye. Xiaoping waved his hand. He didn't want to sell the crystal fragrant rice to the Myriad Demon Pavilion. What? Hearing this, the faces of the managers of the Myriad Demon Pavilion changed. If they lost this business, the Myriad Demon Pavilion would lose a lot of money. Most importantly, if they didn't sell the spirit rice to them, but to other shops, wouldn't that strengthen the strength of other shops? This would be giving money to the enemy. They wouldn't allow such behavior. Brother Monster, Black Zephyr's eyes flashed coldly. I advise you to sell this crystal fragrant rice to the Myriad Demon Pavilion. In the entire Jadeite city, no one can afford except us. Of course, if you leave the Myriad Demon Pavilion and don't do business with us, your reputation will be ruined. I'm afraid that no monster in the entire Jadeite city will dare to buy your rice. Do you understand? His tone was threatening. It was obvious that he wouldn't let Xiaoping leave the Myriad Demon Pavilion. Even if he didn't want to sell it, he had to. Otherwise, they would pressure him, and no shop in the Jadeite city would dare to buy his rice. As expected of the Myriad Demon Pavilion. It's really overbearing. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows and looked at the many monsters of the Myriad Demon Pavilion. That's easy. The reason why the Myriad Demon Pavilion could do business in the demon realm is not because we're soft-hearted and fair, but because we're overbearing and arrogant. Black Zephyr sneered. Aha, Pavilion of Demons, you sure talk big. Do you really think that you can cover the sky in Jadeite City with one hand? Since when was it your pavilion of demons' turn to make decisions in Jadeite City? At that moment, a figure walked in from outside. It was a mature woman who looked extremely charming. She gave off a flirtatious aura that attracted the attention of all the monsters. A fox demon. Xiaoping immediately sensed that this woman, who looked to be about 30 years old, was a fox demon. Her body exuded a foxy aura, and she constantly exuded the ability to charm people. Many demons were infatuated with it, and their faces were filled with adoration. However, he didn't feel anything. In his eyes, this fox demon was just child's play. It couldn't be compared to Su Mei's natural, earth-shattering aura. If he had to describe it, he would say that the women in the brothel were all dressed up and had a strong smell of prostitution. Of course, it was more than enough to attract ordinary monsters. Hu Sanyang, this is my pavilion of demons. What are you doing here? Black Zephyr didn't expect someone to appear at this time. His face immediately turned ugly. He could also see that this fox demon's identity was not ordinary. She was Hu Sanyang, the leader of the famous Fox Demon Hall in Jadeite City. She was a great monster at the peak of the Dharma plane. She was not inferior to Black Zephyr at all. To other monsters, he could act mighty, but not to Hu Sanyang. So what if it's your pavilion of demons? Can I, Hu Sanyang, come here? Hu Sanyang ignored Black Zephyr. She swayed her waist and came in front of Xiaoping. She giggled. Little brother, if you don't want to sell it to the pavilion of demons, you can sell it to the Fox Demon Hall. No matter how much crystal rice you have, we can eat it all. Oh, if I sell it to you, how much for a caddy? Xiaoping asked. Of course we will sell it according to the market price. We can pay 100,000 demon coins for a caddy of crystal rice. We will eat as much as you have. Hu Sanyang smiled. She was not lying when she said this. Spirit rice was a hard currency in the demon realm. There was no need to worry about unsaleable goods. Sometimes, it was even more valuable than demon coins. Moreover, top-grade spirit rice was even more popular. Every king monster wanted it. The demand was endless. The price is not bad. Xiaoping nodded, expressing his satisfaction. That's good. Next, why don't we go to the Fox Demon Hall? Hu Sanyang wanted to go back to her territory to discuss the food trade with Xiaoping. No problem at all. Xiaoping naturally would not refuse. Soon, the group left the Pavilion of Demons. Pavilion Master, are we not going to stop Hu Sanyang and let her take the guest away? This will damage the reputation of the Pavilion of Demons. A manager of the Pavilion of Demons said to the Pavilion Master, Black Zephyr. Stop. How? That Hu Sanyang is not simple. Let's not talk about her unfathomable level of training. Just look at her methods. Her friends are almost all over Jadeite City. If we mess with one, we'll be messing with a whole bunch. We can't act rashly. Of course, Black Zephyr wanted to kill Hu Sanyang. The problem was that he did not dare and was not confident. He could only endure it. He turned his head and stared at the rat demon on the ground. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Rat demon, how dare you? How dare you chase away a guest in front of us and ruin a big business of the Pavilion of Demons? How are you going to take responsibility for this? Pavilion Master, spare me. Spare me this time. I won't dare to do it again. I won't dare to do it again. As long as you spare me this time, I will work hard in the future. Something like this will never happen again. The rat demon begged for mercy and cried bitterly. Bang! Before it could finish speaking, Black Zephyr lightly struck with his palm. A terrifying black wind attacked and covered the rat demon's body in an instant. Whoosh! Immediately, the rat demon let out a shrill scream. Its entire body was corroded by the black wind. In an instant, it melted completely. Not even a single piece of it was left. You have to pay the price for doing something wrong. There are always demons who don't pay the price, thinking that there will be another chance. What kind of discipline is there in the Pavilion of Demons? Everyone should learn from this, understand? Black Zephyr said earnestly. Yes, yes, yes. The group of demons was drenched in sweat. They were scared out of their wits. Demon, keep an eye on the demon selling the spirit rice. I have a feeling that he has a secret on him. Perhaps we can get a windfall. Black Zephyr's eyes revealed a cold glint. In fact, he suddenly felt the 18 primordial heavenly dragon talismans in his body throb. It It was as though someone of his kind was beside him. He immediately suspected Xiaoping and felt that he might have the primordial heavenly dragon talismans on him. Therefore, Black Zephyr decided to let Xiaoping off temporarily and wanted to investigate in secret. The primordial heavenly dragon talismans were too important. They surpassed everything. The reason why he could achieve what he had today was because he had obtained a few primordial heavenly dragon talismans when he was still a young demon. Therefore, he was invincible and obtained countless resources to grow into the great demon he was now. Chapter 1812. Fox Demon Palace. At this moment, Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and Qing Wan appeared in the Fox Demon Palace. Many Fox Demonis servants appeared in the surroundings, transforming into women with graceful figures. They spoke softly, releasing a decadent sound that made people forget to leave. Moreover, the clothes they wore were also very unique. Other than the key parts, everything else was exposed, and it was faintly discernible. Not bad, not bad. This place is not bad. It's like a paradise on earth. There are so many beautiful women here. If I knew this would happen, I would have come here to do business. Xiaoping praised. Right, can I bring these fox girls out? To be honest, I want to talk to them through the night and talk about each other's lives. He spoke his mind honestly. Stinky man. Tu Linglong glared fiercely at Xiaoping. She had long known that this bastard was up to no good, yet he had followed the vixen into the vixen's den. Wasn't it like firewood encountering a raging fire? Hearing this, Hu Sanyang waved her hand. No, the fox girls here sell their skills, not their bodies. This is not a place to hide dirty things. I don't have that kind of service. If you have the ability, you can win the favor of these fox girls and make them follow you out willingly. That is also your charm. I can't stop you. She exuded a faintly discernible fox charm. She understood men very well. She knew that men were very cheap and would not cherish things that were easy to get. She could only hook a man's appetite and catch him bit by bit. Then, he would not be able to run away. Sell their skills, but not their bodies. That's simple. They let me do it, but I don't pay, so it's not considered selling. Xiaoping said casually, revealing his solution. What? The surrounding fox girls were dumbfounded. There was actually such a solution? Wasn't this a bandit? They had never seen such a barbaric and shameless demon. Tu Linglong and Qing Wan also saw Xiaoping's shamelessness again. It refreshed their understanding of shamelessness. Little brother, let's talk about business. How much spirit rice do you have? Hu Sanyang coughed and automatically changed the topic. There was no way to talk with this bandit. She had heard of people eating for free, but she had never heard of prostitutes and people wanting to do it for free. To be honest, even an experienced and knowledgeable woman like her couldn't resist such shamelessness. I have a lot of spiritual rice, 10 tons. Can you eat it? Xiaoping said lightly. He casually tossed out an interspatial ring, which contained 10 tons of crystal rice. What? 10 tons? Hu Sanyang took the ring and scanned it with her spiritual perception. She was shocked to see the dazzling array of spirit rice inside. To be honest, she thought that Xiaoping would only have a little more than a ton of crystal fragrant rice on him, and he might have gotten it from some field in the wild. She didn't expect that he would have 10 tons, which was simply beyond her imagination. However, she quickly calmed down. Little brother, I didn't expect that you would actually have 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice. From what you said, it seems like you can bring more than 10 tons. She looked at Xiaoping with a burning gaze. That's right, Xiaoping admitted. 10 tons is just a small number, just a drop in the ocean. At the beginning of this transaction, I will use it to test the water. If the cooperation goes well, I will make a lot of money in the future. Usually, Taminglu ate dozens of tons. It was just 10 tons. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was just a drop in the ocean. Moreover, most of the space of the mountain river pearl had been restored. There was more land for planting. As time went by, he could grow more spirit rice. He could not even finish eating it. He could sell it in large quantities. It seems that little brother's background is not simple. 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice is just a drop in the ocean. Which force are you from? By the way, after talking for so long, I still don't know your name? Hu Sanyang's attitude changed a little. She began to feel that this man's background was not ordinary. Perhaps he was a representative sent by some super force to test the water in Jadeite City. Master Wu Taidu. Xiaoping said his name. As for which force I am from, you don't need to know. It's not good for you to know too much. In short, let's finish this transaction first. He pulled the tiger's skin, vaguely expressing that he indeed had someone backing him, and that his background was very powerful. Okay. Hu Sanyang also felt that she was a little too anxious. A woman who was too anxious would scare away a man. She regained her indifferent attitude and said, 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice is indeed a big amount, but my Fox Demon Palace can still eat it. Here is an anonymous demon coin card worth 1 billion demon coins. Take a look. In the demon world, there was also the existence of human technology. It was not out of touch with the world, and the demon coin card was equivalent to this world's bank card. It could be used to buy things in various shops. And not bad. The amount is right. Xiaoping's divine sense penetrated it. He immediately saw the words 1 billion appeared on the demon coin card. That's it for today. Next time, there will be more fragrant crystal rice. I will look for you to cooperate. We can cooperate for a long time. Of course, no matter when you want to buy or sell, my Fox Demon Palace will always welcome you. Hu Sanyang smiled faintly. No one would reject such a big customer. If the 1,000 Demon Pavilion knew about this situation, the group of demons would definitely go crazy. They did not know that they pushed away a god of wealth. They would regret it for the rest of their lives. After chatting for a while, Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and Qing Wan left the Fox Demon Palace. Oh my god! After leaving the Fox Demon Palace, Tu Linglong seemed to be unable to suppress her excitement. 1 billion demon coins was earned so easily. How many elixirs, treasures, and buns can I buy with that? She had never seen such a large amount of money in her life. To be honest, when she was in the cloud world, she was considered the Rabbit Clan Saintess. But it was different in the universe. She did not have any universe currency. At the same time, she had to deal with the Demon Temple's missions. She also needed to cultivate and buy elixirs and treasures. She was already short of money. During this period of time, she was extremely miserable. Her life was so poor that she could not even afford to buy some food. She was almost living under the bridge. Qing Wan was also a little shocked. At the same time, she was a little discouraged. They had worked so hard to earn a few demon coins. But Xiaoping came and casually earned 1 billion demon coins. He was not short of money at all. Why was there such a big gap between people? Was there any justice in this world? Still want to buy buns? How poor are you to want to buy this kind of thing? What a loser. Xiaoping looked at Tu Linglong with contempt. Then what do you want to buy? Tu Linglong put her hands on her waist and looked at Xiaoping angrily. What to buy? Of course I want to buy everything I see. Xiaoping wanted to buy everything in the demon realm to build the Mountain River Pearl and Gaia Space. No matter how many there were, it would not satisfy his appetite. Chapter 1813. Hailan Bazaar. Xiaoping brought Tu Linglong and Qing Wan into a shop that sold refining materials. He looked around and pointed at some materials in front of him, asking, "What is this? What's the price?" A shop assistant hurriedly came up and said, "Customer, this is 5 Qi demon steel, a very good material for refining. The flying swords refined from it are incomparably sharp, and they are at least low-grade spiritual weapons. The price is only 1 demon coin per kilogram. Take it." Before the shop assistant could finish, Xiaoping waved his hand, cutting him off, and took it. "Take it." The shop assistant was dumbfounded, not knowing what Xiaoping meant. "What's wrong? Are you deaf? Didn't you hear what I said? How much do you have in stock? Take it out immediately, and take it all," Xiaoping said impatiently. Yes. Hearing this, how could the shop assistant not know that a super tycoon had come to buy all the goods? Without another word, he immediately asked the boss to personally serve him. "What is this?" Blood Demon Stone contains supreme blood chi, can be used to refine all kinds of demon weapons and demonic weapons. Price 10 demon coins per kilo. Take it. "Brother, this is fallen phoenix iron, an iron or formed after being contaminated with the blood of phoenix. Of course, there are some exaggerations, but it is an excellent material for refining fire-type magic treasures and has a strong flame conductivity. Take it all. Sir, this is white demon jade, a top-grade jade used to refine all kinds of formations. It is an excellent material for laying the foundation of formations and can even increase the power of formations by 30%. I have a lot in stock. Very good. Take it all. Take it all. Father, this is Demon Ink Crystal, a special product 30,000 meters underground in the demon realm. After hundreds of thousands of years of crystal movement, it formed into a top-grade ore. It is extremely hard and resistant to water and fire. It is the best material for refining armors and magic treasures. It can't be found anywhere else, only my place has it. It is unique. Very good, take it all, take it all. Originally, the shop owner was reserved, but Xiaoping was really too generous. No matter what he introduced, he would take it all, no matter how much he had, not treating demon coins as money at all. In the end, he directly knelt down, completely convinced, completely treating Xiaoping as his father. At this moment, even his biological parents couldn't compare to the importance of Xiaoping. When the shopping was over, all the employees in the shop, including the boss's wife and son, rushed to the door. Their faces were full of smiles as they sent Xiaoping off in a grand and respectful manner. Of course, Xiaoping's shopping wasn't over. It was just the beginning. He had only spent a little bit of money to buy these materials. It wasn't enough. He entered a medicine shop and asked the shop assistant to introduce the elixirs here. Big bro, this is demon leafgrass. It grows under the moonlight and absorbs the essence of heaven and earth. It has 300 years of medicinal strength, and its medicinal properties are gentle. It's an important supplementary spirit medicine for all kinds of medicinal pills. This is demon rat flower. It's a top-grade spirit medicine that was infected by the rat clan's demonic energy. It has the strong vitality of a rat demon, and once consumed, ordinary injuries will quickly recover. It's a top-grade material for refining medicinal pills. This is black demon lotus. It grows under the famous corpse pool. It absorbs the blood aura in the depths of the void, as well as the mysterious Een aura in the deep pool, and then swallows the essence of the moonlight to grow. After consuming it, it has a great effect on one's cultivation, enough to increase one's demonic energy cultivation by hundreds of years. It's very rare. Teddy fruit, it doesn't have much use. After consuming it, it will rapidly develop, and men will constantly exercise like Teddy. It's an important spirit fruit to increase the intimacy between men and women. It's very popular. Husky flower. After consuming it, one will go crazy, and their intelligence will drop to the lowest. It's best not to let it out. It will bite people at any time, and it will also destroy the environment of the house. It will only lose its effect after 24 hours. The shop assistants frantically introduced the spirit medicines in the shop, and every spirit medicine that they introduced would be bought by Xiaoping, not caring about his wallet at all. In just an hour, he had almost cleaned out all the spirit medicines in the shop, not leaving a single spirit medicine behind. The shop owners and shop assistants were practically worshipping Xiaoping like a dog. If Xiaoping took in a son, they would probably kneel down in front of him. Next, Xiaoping also swept through the medicinal pill shops, magical treasure shops, and other shops. He basically swept through all the shops he could see with his naked eyes and bought almost all of their goods. Basically, they could make samples in advance. Even if there were customers, they wouldn't be able to buy much. Xiaoping had almost spent all the 1 billion demon coins he had, and he only had a few million demon coins left, which was barely enough to rent a villa in Jadeite City for a few years. After all, he also needed to temporarily live in this place, so he still had some rationality and didn't spend it all. And this behavior had completely shocked all the demons in the Sea Waves Bazaar. When had they ever seen such a tycoon's behavior? It was simply unheard of and never seen before. Have you heard? A super tycoon appeared in the Sea Waves Bazaar. He's sweeping up goods everywhere, not looking at the price at all. He buys everything he sees, and when people don't let him buy, he even gets angry. Damn, I already knew about it. This matter has spread throughout the entire Sea Waves Bazaar. This tycoon is simply too extravagant. Do you know that Che Clan medicine shop from before? Normally, no one goes there, and they only sell trash spirit medicines. But once that tycoon went there, he bought everything, not even letting a single blade of grass go. That Che Clan medicine shop owner went crazy with joy, and he didn't have to work for a few years. This is nothing. Liu Clan Smithy's accumulated demon iron for a few years that couldn't be sold was actually bought out, and not even scraps were left. This is too scary. When I went to that medicine shop earlier, that tycoon actually bought even soil and almost dug out all the soil in medicine shop. He laughed so hard that the medicine shop owner couldn't even see his teeth, and his face looked like a woman on her period. Oh my God, why didn't you introduce this kind of idiot? No, this kind of tycoon to me? I still have a lot of materials that haven't been sold for many years, and it's just the right time to clear them out. It's too late. He's long gone. My preliminary estimate is that the tycoon spent at least $1 billion this time. Damn, $1 billion is too much. How many years would it take for me to earn that much money? I was sick before, so I closed my shop and missed this opportunity to get rich. When a demon is unlucky, money falls from the sky, and you still actively avoid it. Don't worry, this tycoon said that he's very happy today and might come back tomorrow to continue sweeping up goods. Damn, hurry up and prepare. Prepare as many goods as you can. Whether we eat porridge or eat depends on today. A sucker like this is really rare in history. Chapter 1814. Thousand Demon Pagoda. At this moment, they also knew what Xia Ping had done in Hailong Market. He was buying things everywhere and had bought a total of $1 billion. It was like a helicopter throwing money everywhere, making Hailong Market look like it was celebrating the new year. $1 billion, my God, that kid spent a total of $1 billion to buy goods in Hailong Market, throwing money everywhere. Where did he get so much money from? A demon was so jealous that its eyes were red. It had never had so much money in its entire life, but this kid had spent 1 billion demon coins in just one day. Why was the difference so huge? It was going crazy with jealousy. He must have gotten it from selling crystal rice. I received news that he had already made a deal with Fox Demon Palace, and Fox Demon Palace had also obtained a large amount of crystal rice, making a lot of money. A long-eared demon received the news from Fox Demon Palace. It clenched its teeth in jealousy. Impossible, he only had 1 ton of crystal rice. How could he have gotten 1 billion demon coins? A pig-nosed demon felt that it was impossible. Just 1 ton of crystal rice could not be sold for 1 billion. After all, Fox Demon Palace was not stupid and would not make a losing deal. Not 1 ton, but 10 tons of crystal rice. That kid sold 10 tons and got 1 billion demon coins. The long-eared demon almost roared. 10 tons of crystal rice sold for 1 billion demon coins? That kid is crazy, spending it all in one day with only 1 billion. Even a prodigal can't be this wasteful. This is ridiculous. What's wrong with this kid's brain? Doesn't he see money as money? Many demons could not understand. According to their thinking, 1 billion demon coins could be spent for God knows how long. How could it be like this kid, spending it all in one day? It was outrageous. I can only say that this kid has more than 10 tons of crystal rice on him, maybe even more. I also received news that he has a channel that can sell crystal rice continuously. The long-eared demon said in a low voice. What? Many of the managers of the 1,000 Demon Pagoda were regretting their actions. If that rat demon had not been so arrogant and chased away this big customer, then this channel of crystal rice would have fallen into their hands instead of Fox Demon Palace. Despicable Rat Yao. It ruined our 10,000 Yao Pavilion's plans, cutting off our 10,000 Yao Pavilion source of income. Killing it earlier was letting it off lightly. It should have been tortured for 3 days and 3 nights before dying. The group of 10,000 Demons Pavilion stewards hated him to death, but there was nothing they could do. Pavilion Master, what should we do now? A steward looked at the Pavilion Master, Black Zephyr. It's okay. There are many ways to earn money in this world. It's just losing a way to earn money. It's not a big deal. We can earn it back from other places. Besides, that kid is in the limelight. I'm afraid he won't be able to grow his tail. A cold light flashed in Black Zephyr's eyes. He had sent people to observe Xia Ping in secret, and he had even taken action himself. He had finally confirmed that the punk had the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Thinking of this, Black Zephyr could no longer restrain himself. He wanted to kill and snatch the treasure, as long as it could obtain the many primordial heavenly dragon talismans from that lad. Its strength would definitely increase greatly. It would be enough to sweep through all its opponents in Jadeite City and become invincible. At that time, it would not be impossible for him to become the master of the Jadeite City. A mere grain trade was nothing to him. He decided to take action tonight and quietly eliminate that lad and snatch back all the primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Of course, he would not say these things out. The news of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans had to be kept secret. Otherwise, who knew how many demons would swarm over? At that time, he would not have a chance. Black Zephyr naturally would not do such a stupid thing. Fox Demon Hall. Many fox demons gathered together, and the hall master, Husan Yang, was sitting on the high seat. Hall master, that demon, Master Potato, seems to be extravagant. He spent all the 1 billion demon coins we got in a day. It's too exaggerated. I have never seen such a prodigal son of an aristocratic family. That's right. 1 billion demon coins can buy a lot of things. But that guy is a prodigal son. He bought a lot of things that he doesn't need. I don't know what he's thinking. With such a prodigal son, no matter how much money his family has, it's not enough for him to squander. Hall Master, it's better not to cooperate with this guy. Otherwise, we won't know how we will be cheated. Many fox demons were discussing. They were shocked by Xia Ping's actions. No, you guys are still young. You only look at the surface when doing things. You don't see the essence. Husan Yang waved her hand and smiled. A poor man who suddenly got a fortune will definitely not spend it all in a day. It's the instinct of a poor man to be prepared for danger in times of peace. But that kid is different. He has the guts to spend 1 billion in a day. It's enough to prove that his family background is not ordinary. 1 billion is just a small number to him. That's why he has the guts to spend 1 billion without being stingy. From this matter, she could see that Master Potato's family background was not ordinary. A family that could treat 1 billion as pocket money was very rare even in the big demon world. So what if we know his background is not ordinary? If he squanders like this, how much money is there for him to spend? Some fox demons were unconvinced. Knowing his background is not ordinary is enough. It's enough to prove that his crystal fragrant rice channel is correct. There are many opportunities for us to cooperate in the future. Husan Yang smiled. And if he squanders, that's his business. It has nothing to do with our Fox Demon Palace. As long as we can get an endless supply of crystal fragrant rice from him, it's the best thing for our Fox Demon Palace. Why not? Many fox demons were convinced. It was indeed reasonable. Anyway, they only needed the crystal fragrant rice from Master Potato. They just took what they needed. They gave the money. How Master Potato spent it naturally had nothing to do with them. But Palace Lord, I'm afraid Master Potato's life can't be guaranteed tonight. A fox demon immediately reported. I received news that Thousand Demon Pavilion had sent people to watch Master Potato. They secretly investigated him. Even Black Zephyr himself took action. He left a murderous aura on him. We all know Black Zephyr's character. He will take revenge for the smallest grievance. Now that Master Potato has lost his face, I'm afraid he will take revenge. Palace Lord, should we help? It looked at Husan Yang. Don't worry. Husan Yang waved her hand. This is a good opportunity. We can test Master Potato's ability. If he can escape from Black Zephyr's pursuit, it will prove that he really has something. If he can't even escape from Black Zephyr's pursuit, it will prove that his ability is only SOSO. It's not worth it for our Fox Demon Palace to cooperate with him. Her eyes shone brightly, and many schemes appeared in her mind. Yes, Palace Lord. Chapter 1815. Late at night, in a luxurious manor outside Jadeite City. At this moment, this manor was rented by Xia Ping at the cost of 10,000 demon coins a month. This also allowed Tu Linglong and Qing Wan to get rid of that dirty, cramped, and shabby hotel. Whoosh! A black shadow flew over in the night, swept across the void, and stood in midair. This person was the Black Wind Old Monster. Oomph. Really a villain intoxicated by success. He only got so little money, and yet he is so extravagant. The Black Wind Old Monster snorted at this kind of behavior, thinking that it was a waste of money. If he had money, he might as well buy all kinds of elixirs to increase his cultivation. This was the way to use money. In this world, nothing could be relied on, only one's fist could be relied on. Where is that kid, Master Potato? The Black Wind Old Monster's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He summoned the demon wind silently, and in an instant, it enveloped the manor. He immediately found that Master Potato was alone in a huge bath, and he was even humming a song in a good mood. Very good, this kid is now unguarded. It is a good time to kill him. The Black Wind Old Monster was delighted. Most likely, the kid did not expect that he would make a move tonight, and he could kill the kid by surprise. When he understood the truth of the matter, it was already too late. He was also a ruthless and decisive person. Once he made a decision, he would immediately make a move. Whoosh! In an instant, the Black Wind Old Monster turned into a black airflow, and silently, he instantly sneaked into the bath of this manor. And then he saw the location of Xiaoping. Divine power, thorn of black wind. He condensed the black demon wind and turned it into a thorn. It contained supreme sharpness, and with lightning speed, it was enough to shatter the stars. Dong! This blow fiercely bombarded the back of Master Potato, and immediately a terrifying magical power erupted from the opponent's body, producing an extremely terrible destructive power. Succeeded? No. The ancient heavenly dragon talisman on his body did not burst out. The Black Wind Old Monster was originally overjoyed, thinking that he had killed Master Potato, but the problem was that he could not seem to find the ancient heavenly dragon talisman on Master Potato. As a peak Dharma realm expert, he immediately knew that he had killed the wrong person, and the real Master Potato was not dead at all. Bang! Sure enough, in the next second, the surrounding environment shattered like glass, and even the body of Master Potato on the ground disappeared in front of the Black Wind Old Monster like a wisp of smoke. And the real Xiaoping was standing not far from the Black Wind Old Monster, looking at him with a faint smile. Ha! Old Demon Black Wind, it's already so late, yet you still dared to come to my residence and attempt to assassinate me. Furthermore, the dignified Myriad Demons Pavilion's Pavilion Master is actually doing something like this. Don't you feel ashamed? Xia King Thousand Master Mu, and said, Master, was illusion technique? When I was at the monster of Xian. Mu Thousand, he old demon Black Wind immediately felt fearful of Xiaoping. Xiaoping was actually able to silently set up an illusion formation, blinding his perception and causing him to unknowingly fall into an illusion. Xia, when did you set it? It was just after you stepped into the range of dozens of miles from the manor. But the reason why you went through so much trouble to sneak into my manor, I'm afraid you are after something. Let me guess, you want to get the ancient heavenly dragon talisman from me? Xiaoping smiled at the Black Wind Old Demon. What? Did you also perceive the ancient heavenly dragon talisman in my body? The eyes of the Black Wind Old Demon flickered, and he felt that something was wrong. It seemed that he had fallen into the trap of the other party unknowingly, and he even foolishly broke into the enemy's nest. At this moment, he already had the intention to retreat. Of course I know. The reason why I put on a show in the Thousand Demon Pavilion and deliberately revealed the aura of the ancient heavenly dragon talisman to lure you is to lure the snake out of its hole. Xiaoping stood with his hands clasped behind his back. Originally, if you had stayed in the 10,000 Demon Pavilion, which is heavily guarded, it would have taken me a lot of effort to kill you. I didn't expect you to be so stupid as to personally attack. Even the King of Hell wants you dead. Arrogant. A junior dares to be so arrogant. I am a Dharma characteristic realm mighty figure, a demon king. So what if you, a junior, set a trap? If I want to leave, no one can stop me. The Black Wind Old Demon snorted coldly. He turned into a gust of demonic wind and immediately wanted to escape. Too late. Xiaoping waved his hand, and the bead of mountains and rivers in his body trembled. Immediately, a large array rose, Wuji spatial array. Boom! Suddenly, the large array appeared silently, covering hundreds of kilometers in an instant. It sealed the sky and locked the earth, condensing the void and turning the place into an absolute spatial domain. Dong! 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 The black wind old demon fled frantically, but when he rushed into the air, he immediately hit a thick wall. With a loud bang, there was an earth-shattering sound, and his head was swollen as he let out a tragic cry. He was indignant and tried to break through the seal, but after hitting it several times, the spatial array couldn't move. It's useless. Under my Wuji spatial array, the sky and earth are sealed and the void is frozen. Unless you kill me, there is no way you can escape from this array. Xiaoping was extremely confident in the power of the Wuji spatial array. This was an extremely powerful sealing array that formed an absolute space. Even a lightning tribulation realm mighty figure couldn't escape from this array, let alone the black wind old demon. If that's the case, then I'll kill you. The black wind old demon's eyes revealed a hint of murderous intent. He actually gave up on escaping and directly attacked Xiaoping. Divine power, dark astral wind. This was the black wind old demon's most terrifying bloodline divine power. He had finally mastered it by absorbing the earth fiend astral wind in the depths of the void and after thousands of years of cultivation. After mastering it, this divine power was simply invincible. It could destroy the soul, destroy the physical body, and corrode the primordial spirit. It was simply invincible, and no monster dared to face it head-on. Even if it was a protective artifact, it would be quickly corroded, polluted, and destroyed by the dark astral wind. With this divine power, the black wind old demon was simply invincible, beating countless monsters until they knelt and begged for mercy. That was how he became the myriad demon pavilion master in Jadeite City. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the depths of the void, black astral winds whistled and turned into tornadoes, rushing towards Xiaoping. They covered the sky and the earth, as if an endless storm had been set off, containing terrifying killing intent. Kill! Xiaoping didn't even look at it. He gathered the infernal golden crow bloodline in his body, and terrifying flame energy rose from the depths of his body and gathered on his fist. His entire fist seemed to have turned into elements, turning into a flaming fist. Chapter 1816. Dong. With a punch, scorching heat exploded and endless light shot out, tearing through the dark vacuum. With just one blow, the dark gales in the air were instantly destroyed. Even the gales were quickly purified by the flames of the golden crow of hell, turning into nothingness. The black wind demon could not withstand this blow either. He was sent flying, and the terrifying magical power seeped into his lungs, causing him to cough up blood. Impossible! Blood seeped from the corner of the black wind demon's mouth as he looked at Xiaoping in shock. You're just a junior at the returning nature stage. How can you have such strong magical power? You've actually surpassed me. Who's at the peak of the Dharma stage? Where did you come from? For the first time, he had doubts about Xiaoping's background. He was only at the returning nature stage, but he already had such power. Was he a descendant of the king demons, or a descendant of the divine beasts? Why don't you go ask the king of hell? Xiaoping charged forward, not giving the black wind demon chance. His fist was like a blazing sun, containing the strongest heat. It was as if he was holding a sun, releasing endless light. His entire body seemed to turn into endless flames, burning the air. Wisps of fire dripped onto the ground, burning the ground until it collapsed, creating shocking craters. Even deep within each wisp of fire, there was a golden crow seal, emitting an eternal, immortal aura. If not for the Wuji space matrix of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers, isolating the area from the outside world, such a phenomenon would have spread throughout the entire Jadeite city and shocked countless demons. Damn it, you want to kill me? It's not that easy. Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Come out, ancient heavenly dragon talisman. The Black Wind demon roared. As a peak Dharma stage cultivator, he instinctively sensed that if he continued to hide, he would definitely die under this punch. All the cells in his body were warning him. Therefore, he did not dare to hold back any longer. He immediately summoned the 18 ancient heavenly dragon talismans in his body. Rumble, in an instant, 18 ancient heavenly dragons emerged from his body. Their roars shook the heavens and the earth, shaking the entire universe. Even the surrounding space was rattling, emitting a terrible dragon's might. After old demon Black Wind's tens of thousands of years of tempering and watering them with his blood essence day and night, the 18 primordial sky dragon talismans had long become one with his mind. The moment they were summoned, the primordial sky dragon talismans immediately released immense power that far exceeded old demon Black Wind's body. It could even match a mighty figure at the peak of the lightning tribulation. However, Xiaoping only laughed when he saw the 18 primordial sky dragon talismans. He could see the endless grievances and hatred deep in the eyes of the primordial sky dragons, as well as deep indignation. From the looks of it, old demon Black Wind had never fused his mind with the primordial sky dragon talisman. His 10,000 years of tempering was just him using his powerful dermic powers and massive blood essence in an attempt to forcefully fuse with the primordial sky dragon talisman. It even had great ambitions. It wanted to obtain the primordial sky dragon's dragon blood from the primordial sky dragon talisman and obtain the various dermic powers of the primordial sky dragon, so that it could one day become an existence like the primordial sky dragon. The problem was that the primordial heavenly dragon talisman was a primordial creature, one of the few powerful creatures in the world. Its arrogance was obvious, so how could it submit to a mere old demon Black Wind? Why would a dragon associate itself with a worm? In the eyes of a primordial sky dragon, a puny demon like old demon Black Wind was attempting to forcefully refine itself with blood essence. It was an affront to the dragon's authority, a dragon's reverse scale. However, the primordial sky dragon talismans were just too weak. Furthermore, they were at their weakest, so they had no choice but to submit to old demon Black Wind. However, the rage in their hearts was still brewing, waiting for the day it would erupt. Interesting. Xiaoping looked nonchalantly at old demon Black Wind. He originally thought that killing old demon Black Wind would take him some effort, but from the looks of it, there was no need for him to do much. All he needed to do was incur the wrath deep within the primordial sky dragon talismans, and old demon Black Wind would suffer the consequences of his actions. Upon thinking of this, he immediately took out a blob of dragon blood from the mountain river pearl space. So, instantly, Xiaoping flicked his finger, sending drops of dragon blood to form cannonballs that tore through the void. At lightning speed, they struck the 18 primordial sky dragon talismans. Immediately, these primordial sky dragon talismans devoured the dragon blood. They immediately let out excited roars, and the aura on their bodies rose steadily. To them, the dragon blood was like sweet dew after a long drought. Haha, Master Potato, you idiot. I was wondering what you were doing. I didn't expect you to take out treasures to help my primordial sky dragon talismans increase in strength. You're still supporting the enemy. I don't know if you're stupid or not. Did you discover that I'm your father? Originally, old demon Black Wind was shocked, thinking that Xiaoping was up to some sinister plot. However, he immediately discovered that the strange thing that Xiaoping had thrown at him was instantly devoured by the primordial sky dragon talismans on his body. Following that, the power of these 18 primordial sky dragon talismans rose rapidly. Wave after wave of tyrannical sky dragon power surged into his body, like a tide, constantly scouring it. At this moment, old demon Black Wind felt that his dermic powers were unprecedentedly powerful. He even felt that he could break through the bottleneck of the Dharma realm, and saw that he was about to break through the Thunder Calamity. How could he not be excited? Master Potato's actions were simply helping him break through his cultivation. At this moment, he was treating him even better than his biological father. Idiot! Xiaoping looked at old demon Black Wind with pity. He stood with his hands behind his back and did nothing, waiting for the other party to suffer the consequences of his actions. Idiot, you're still so arrogant here. Upon hearing this, old demon Black Wind flew into a rage and sneered. Little brat, I won't hold it against you for now. When I break through to the Thunder Calamity realm, I'll personally crush you to death. Once he broke through to the Thunder Calamity realm, his strength would increase by tens or even hundreds of times. Coupled with the primordial sky dragon talismans that increased his strength, crushing this arrogant kid to death would be no different from crushing an ant. No matter what kind of divine beast descendant he was, under absolute power, he would all die. Come on, primordial sky dragon talismans. Contribute all your strength and help me step into the Thunder Calamity realm. I, old demon Black Wind, will be one of the future rulers of the demon realm. Now, old demon Black Wind's confidence was at its peak, as though he was the most supreme in the world. Even if a saint came here, he would dare to jump a few times. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At this moment, the primordial sky dragons flew in midair and surrounded old demon Black Wind. A trace of clarity seemed to have returned to the depths of their eyes, and the blood chi in the depths of their bodies seemed to have been completely refined. Chapter 18:17. What's wrong? A bunch of fools. Why are you standing here foolishly? All of you are my slaves. Listen to my orders immediately and contribute the primordial sky dragon powers in your bodies. Sacrifice yourselves for others. Once I break through my cultivation level, all of you will benefit in the future. Black Wind immediately cursed when he sensed that the surrounding primordial sky dragon talismans were motionless. However, the 18 primordial sky dragons remained floating in midair. Their gigantic dragon eyes were still staring at Black Wind. There was no anger or life in their pupils, only calmness. It was as calm as a deep pool, as though it would never change. However, such calmness left one's heart cold. What's going on? Are you rebelling because of the sudden increase in your powers? Old demon Black Wind also sensed that something was amiss. Under normal circumstances, the primordial heavenly dragon talismans would immediately take action under his command. But now, they were unresponsive. It was as though they had a mind of their own and were resisting. However, he still had a trump card. He sneered. I already knew that Dharma treasures like you have their own consciousness and instincts. Therefore, I planted a blood-packed seed deep in the talismans. Once it erupts, you will suffer a fate worse than death. You are just a Dharma treasure, an inanimate object, an existence akin to a slave. Such a lowly existence wants to rebel against its owner? That's just wishful thinking. Today, I'll let you know who is the master and who is the slave. His expression was hideous as he formed seals with both hands. His demonic aura surged as he immediately activated the blood-packed seed left deep in the primordial sky dragon talismans. It was an energy seed from the fiendish Tao that contained a terrifying demonic aura. Once it erupted, it would be a fate worse than death. It could immediately obliterate the Dharma treasure's consciousness. However, after a while, the 18 primordial sky dragons remained motionless. Their gigantic pupils remained calm, as though they did not react to Black Wind's actions. However, the atmosphere instantly turned heavy. Every corner was filled with a terrifying dragon might, and with the passage of time, the pressure became more and more terrifying. The entire manor was rattling as the array trembled. How is this possible? Black Wind completely broke down as he lost control of his emotions. His expression was hideous. My blood-packed seed, my fiendish Tao energy. Where'd it go? Why isn't there any reaction? Why did it disappear? Could it be that you expelled this energy? Impossible. How could it be so simple and easy? Master Potato, is it you? Are you doing something? Where the hell did you feed the primordial heavenly dragon talisman? Why did such a thing happen? What did you do? Instinctively felt that this matter had something to do with Xiaoping. Xiaoping shook his head. The so-called fiendish energies were like ants compared to the primordial sky dragon's energy. Trying to control the primordial sky dragon talisman with such energy was truly a joke. There was no need to keep this black wind old demon any longer. "Eat it, primordial sky dragon," Xiaoping said. Upon hearing that, the 18 primordial sky dragons in midair revealed a terrifying glint deep in their eyes. It was even more blinding than the sun's rays as they roared angrily. Within a radius of several hundred kilometers, the entire space was trembling. Even the ground was shaken to the point that cracks appeared. It was extremely shocking. Boom! In an instant, they pounced forward and instantly tore apart old demon Blackwind's body. His limbs, torso, and even his head were eaten by the primordial sky dragons. They were torn apart forcefully, leaving him drenched in blood. This was tearing him apart by 5 horses. However, Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, was a mighty figure at the peak of the Dharma Law's realm. Even if his body was torn apart, his primordial spirit could still survive. However, he was in an extremely miserable state and could not even escape. "No, no, no!" Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, screamed and let out an indignant roar. "I, Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, am a mighty figure at the peak of the Dharma Law's realm. In the future, I will become a demon sage. How can I die now? How can I be torn apart by 5 horses? Master Mateto, I can't accept this. I can't accept this. If you have the guts, fight me one-on-one. If you have the guts, fight me." Before he could finish his sentence, the 18 primordial sky dragons roared and ate his primordial spirit. They tore him apart and swallowed him into their stomachs. The poor Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, a demon king, was eaten alive by the primordial sky dragons just like that. And after Blackwind, old demon Blackwind died, the resentment and anger deep in the eyes of the 18 primordial sky dragons seemed to disappear. Their eyes also regained their clarity. Roar! The 18 primordial sky dragons roared into the sky, conveying the excitement of avenging their vengeance. They looked at each other and transformed into talismans that instantly entered Xiaoping's body. They felt extremely close to this human who had saved them and avenged them. At the same time, he had dragon blood in his body. Therefore, they took the initiative to acknowledge him as their master. The poor Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, had spent tens of thousands of years tempering it day and night, using countless materials, but was ultimately unable to subdue these primordial sky dragon talismans and gain their acknowledgement. But the moment he died, these primordial sky dragon talismans automatically acknowledged him as their master. There was no need for Xiaoping to do anything. If Blackwind, old demon Blackwind, knew of this, he would probably die from anger again. When the 18 primordial sky dragon talismans surged into Xiaoping's body, they immediately had a chemical reaction with the 28 primordial sky dragon talismans in his body. The dragon powers fused together, and at the same time, the 46 primordial sky dragon talismans gathered together to form a new array formation. Rumble! A massive surge of primordial sky dragon powers immediately surged into the depths of Xiaoping's body. His 9 essence souls were greedily devouring the massive and pure dragon powers. It was like sweet dew after a long drought. The dermic powers in the depths of his 9 purple residences were also rising, increasing by a huge margin. Even his essence soul was strengthening bit by bit, advancing towards the perfected realm. Vaguely, there seemed to be sky dragons swimming in the depths of his pupils. A terrifying dragon might emanated from his body, distorting the void and causing the ground to quake. Comfortable. Xiaoping felt extremely comfortable. After obtaining the 18 primordial sky dragon talismans, the dragon powers in the depths of his body, as well as the massive energy essence, allowed him to increase his dermic powers greatly. It saved him hundreds of years of dermic powers condensation. This was countless times better than eating 10,000-year-old spirit herbs. However, it was just too difficult to obtain primordial sky dragon talismans. After all, they were scattered across the universe. It was unknown where they were or what existence had obtained them. Even encountering them was extremely difficult, much less obtaining them. However, it was already extremely lucky for him to obtain so many primordial sky dragon talismans. There's still this head. Xiaoping looked at Black Wind, old demon Black Wind's corpse that was strewn across the ground. With a wave of his hand, he immediately shattered all the pieces of the corpse, obliterating them completely. All that was left on the ground was a head. The reason why it was not completely obliterated was because he wanted to hang Black Wind, old demon Black Wind's head at the entrance of his manor to warn the other demons in Jadeite City. He wanted to make a name for himself.